Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Distinguished presidents of professional accounting bodies, respected keynote speakers, honorable panelists, esteemed delegates from across South Asia, Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zishan Khan, Associate Member of Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Pakistan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Malaika Sayyed, CMA finalist and a member of Student Publication Society at Lahore campus. On behalf of ICMA International and South Asian Federation of Accountants, it is my privilege to serve as a Master of Ceremony for this prestigious occasion. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the day 2 of the Safa International Future of Finance Summit 2026 here in the historic city of Lahore.
We now formally commence the proceeding of day 2. As we begin, let us seek guidance and blessings through the recitation of Holy Quran.
إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها وإذا حكمتم بين الناس أن تحكموا بالعدل إن الله نعم ما يعظكم به إن الله كان سميعا بصيرا
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. My dear Mr. Humayun Kabir, Mr. Humayun Kabir, the President Safa, Mr. Bobin Jha, the Vice President of Safa, Mr. I think Ishfaq Yusuf Tola Sahab is not here. President ICMA, Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, delegates from the Safa countries, professionals, distinguished guests, members of the accounting bodies, and students. Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to all of you. It's a great honor for me to welcome you all to day 2 of the Safa International Summit on Future of Finance. Yesterday, there was an inaugural session, and it was an inspiring discussion which set the strategic direction of the future of accounting profession. Today's sessions are designed to move us further from vision to action. Today, we will be discussing actual challenges and opportunities through deeper management, deeper engagement on sustainability, digital transformation, governance, and public sector accountability. We begin the day with an important keynote session titled The Evolving Role of Accountants in Trust-Driven Economy, which will be delivered by Pravin Kumar, the Vice President of Safa. With this extensive experience in regulatory framework, audit and advisory services, Mr. Jha will provide valuable insights into how accounting profession must adapt to meet the growing expectations of trust, transparency, and accountability. Mr. Jha is coming president of Safa. This will be followed by our first panel discussion on sustainability, accounting, and ESG, from compliance to value creation, which will bring together distinguished professionals and thought leaders to explore how organizations can move beyond compliance and integration, and they can integrate sustainability into their core business strategies. In an era where ESG considerations are becoming central and decision making, this discussion is both timely and essential. The second panel discussion of the day, digital transformation of the accounting profession, will focus on how emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise systems, are reshaping the role of accountants. As digital transformation accelerates across industries, finance professionals must evolve to remain relevant and lead the challenge within their organizations. Later today, we will have another important keynote session titled Technology, Regulation and Future of Financial Reporting. This will be a very important and very engaging session and would be delivered by Mr. Sabir Ahmed. He's my friend from Bangladesh, and his vast experience in audit, ethics, and regulatory frameworks will provide a comprehensive perspective on how innovation and governance must align to ensure transparency, credibility in financial reporting. We will then move to third panel discussion on public sector accountability and national development, which will examine how effective financial governance and transparency in the public sector can contribute to sustainable economic development in any country. This session is particularly important for emerging economies where strong institution and accountability frameworks are critical for growth and stability. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, the summit will conclude with valedictory session which is titled as restoring and restoring and sustaining trust in disrupted world, which will bring together leading voices of the professionals to reflect on key takeaways from this summit and chart a way forward for all of us. This session will emphasize the importance of trust, ethics, and resilience as the foundation of future financial ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussions are not merely about sharing ideas, they are about to reshaping the future direction of our profession in the era of technology, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and so on. Excuse me. As we emerge in these sessions, I encourage all the participants to actively contribute, challenge perspectives, and take forward actionable insights that can make a real difference in our organization and ecosystems and economies. Before I conclude, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude from my own side as well as the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants website side. The real thanks and gratitude to the all of you as well as the sponsors which are very critical, supporting partners, endorsement partners, and knowledge partners whose support and collaboration have made the Safa International Summit a great success. We strongly acknowledge our gold partner, Oil and Gas Development Company Limited, OGDCL, our silver sponsors, Dollens, Askari Bank, United Bank Limited, Central Depository Company of Pakistan, and Exim Bank, Pakistan. Our bronze sponsors, Fuji Cement Company Limited, National Radio Telecom Corporation NRTC, Bank Al Habib, Bank Al Falah, and Allied Bank Limited. We also appreciate the valuable support of our supporting partners, which is Schaeffer, Vital Group, and IKL. We are equally grateful to the ministries for endorsement and support, including Ministry of Communication, Ministry of Railways, and Ministry of Privatization. Special thanks are also extended to our knowledge partner ACCA for their continued professional collaboration and support. I wish all of you a great and productive day, and uh, I pray that it must be an engaging session, and I look forward for a meaningful discussion ahead. Thank you very much, and I once again welcome all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Ghulam Mustafa Qazi, for your thoughtful welcome address and for setting such an inspiring tone for the session ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, trust has become the most valuable currency in today's economic environment. The accounting profession now stands at the center of governance, transparency, sustainability, and stakeholder confidence. To share his valuable insights on the important subject, we are honored to have with us CA Praveen Kumar Jha, Vice President Safa. So please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. CA Praveen Kumar Jha for the keynote speech on the evolving role of accountants in a trust-driven economy.
My presentation slide. Good morning, everybody. This is Praveen Kumar Jha from Nepal, one of your neighboring countries. It's my privilege to be. Oh, so I've been given 30 minutes, so I just stopped. I started my stopwatch. It's a great privilege to be standing in front of all of you and to begin today's technical discussions. And the presentation which is given to me is the evolving role of accountants in trust, in a trust-driven economy. And I've been given 30 minutes, we are already late, so I will just barge into my presentation. When we talk about trust-driven economy, we need to consider that for a trust-driven economy to actually become a trust-driven economy, you need to have trust in our institutions. All of us, no matter where we live, in which jurisdiction, we tend to get services from our local, provincial, and central governments. And then if we are believe that there's a trust in the institution, then what happens basically is we believe in better future. And if we believe in better future, it gives spring to our mindsets and our initiatives. What then it brings, we, the economic actors, tend to take action, planning new ventures, establishing businesses, and driving, which eventually drive progress. So my first slide basically means what I'm trying to say here is that for a trust-driven economy, we need to have a trust in our institutions. We need, and the trust is what actually is leading every aspect of our life. We fly airplanes, we have trust in the civil aviation system, we have trust in the pilot who is leading it, and we're sleeping. We trust our hospitals to go there. We trust the banking system. We carry $1 million of cash, go to a bank. We are worried until we reach the bank's counter that it might be stolen something. But once we deposit that money, give the money to anybody who is standing there without asking whether you are a bank employee or not, when you hand it over, there's trust that we believe in the banking system. That's why every aspect of our life is actually based on trust. And this is the foundation of everything for an economic, trusted economy. The foundation of activity. And then this, if you have if we consider the countries who are doing good, if we consider the countries who are not doing good, I will cite some examples from my country, Nepal. So what happens is, if we believe the system, we believe our behavior is such that we change our mindset from protection to innovation to hard work. We believe that our hard work will be respected, our innovation will be like encouraged, and then economic prosperity will happen. So economic momentum is something which can be brought. I will now dive into our accounting profession. I have categorized into 5, but all of us know that accounting actually started 7,000 years ago. In IFAC these days, there is a terminology which is being used, which has been actually inculcated, which has been which IFAC is talking about is accounting in everything, you know. So why I have taken 1950 and 1950 as 280 as a year of our first category, because to align it with the 75 years of ICMAP, that's why I have written 1950 to 80 as the record keeper. So initially we were record keepers, then we become in 90s to 2000 compliance officers. So compliance was something that we were actually doing. Then we become after Enron and something like that, Anderson. There came SOX, and we from compliance officer we became risk managers. Our role was to actually, for a pretty long time, our role was, if some business was running at gear 3, we'll say to that business, okay, be careful, you know, you are running too fast, come back to gear 2. But times have changed now. We are now business partners. We are the partners in decision making, where we are supposed to be telling our clients that if you are driving at gear 3, how is the way that you can drive at gear 4 or gear 5. So if in our practices, when our staff comes and talks about the compliances issue, which eventually is trying to say that we should ask our client not to do certain things, our mindset these days should be that what are the ways that they can do it in a compliant manner. So because we have to encourage our businesses doing things that they are doing, our role is to make sure that they are compliant. And then comes the 2025 plus era, which is trust architect. You know, yesterday I was listening to very nice opening speeches from ICMAP's president, and keynote speech from president from Sri Lanka, CA Sri Lanka, and then whatever slides that I have, whatever things that I wanted to tell was all included in the topics that they were actually speaking about. So I was thinking, maybe if I had a chance to actually revise my presentation, I had already sent this presentation from Sri Lankan airport when I was coming here. So if I had a chance, I would have inserted few slides, because whatever I wanted to say was already told by these two gentlemen when they were addressing the session in the evening. Now, today we are talking about going forward. So there is evolving expectation, all of us know. These days, we are talking, your conference today, we are talking about future of finance, reimagining accountancy, sustainability, technology, and future of trust. So transparency beyond number is what is expected these days. So The question is, are we ready? Are we professional accountants ready for the changes that is happening around the world, where the stakeholders, the management, the regulators, the government is asking us to actually inform or report things beyond numbers. So there's few statistics, though chairs are actually getting it difficult for you to read it. It says that 70% of investors say that non-financial data influences capital allocation decisions that they make. This is IFAC Global Investor Survey's conclusion. Over half of CFOs around the world report skill gaps in ESG and AI-related competencies. And $4.44 million average cost of data breach in 2025 happens, as reported by IBM Cost of Data Breach Report of 2025. This IBM report is very interesting in a sense. If you go through the report, you will realize that it says that institutions that has applied AI in their data management systems are actually doing good. AI can also help data breachers to actually breach data and phishing and things like that, whereas AI can also help you to actually get security out of it. So if we categorize what we used to do and what we are supposed to be doing now, this is initial stages, though I had categorized it into 5 historical development phases, but we can actually categorize it into 2, which is the compliance era and the trust and value era. Compliance era was the era before this new concepts that we are talking about, the global warming and things like that. So our primary role earlier was to prepare an audit financial statement. Stakeholders were only our clients. Reporting horizon was historical. Standard setting was GAS, as you know. Technology role was back office automation, etc. And ethics and focus was conflict of interest, basic independence. Whereas if you look at now, it's changed. And all of us are already aware of it. As I said, this is something that I am reinforcing only. These days, our reporting requirements are, we provide integrated assurance. It's not just financial reporting that we do, which include financial, ESG, IT, governance, everything we need to report. Our stakeholders are investors, regulators, employees, communities, future generation. ESG is important, you know. And then there's a slide, I'll talk about it. New generation, you know. Our generation was when we had, in my own village in Nepal, we used to cook food burning wood. So when I was a child, I was used to seeing that the wood is, trees are cut to make, used as fuel. But my children who goes to a school, they are so very aware about it if they cut a tree and then if their belief system is different. So what happens is, if you are now, in future, if you are, and young students are here, our MC is also the student, these young students, they will not go to any institution to work where ESG reporting is not there, where their requirements are not fulfilled, who are not compliant, and who are burning coal. They will not, because their value system, they're from schooling days, they are taught that, you know, this environment, this Mother Earth is only one, and there cannot be another Earth, and we have to protect them. Their value system is far better than what we had. We are learning, but they are in their schools, they are taught about these systems. So our stakeholders are getting extended. Our reporting is forward-looking, you know. When you are reporting ESG-related reports, you are forward-looking. I am coming from a country where hydropower is one of the main industries, you know. And because of this global warming and glaciers melting, there is a probability that the projects that we thought would run for 50 years, if the running water dries, what will happen? Investors' money will be like lost. Our energy will be in a crisis. So everything is related, you know. Standard setting, IFRS, GRI, ISSB, ISSA 5000 auditing assurance, CSRD. So these are pluralistic frameworks that we can use. And in Nepal, we are thinking about IFRS S1 and S2, but there can be also others. And there's a session just after this where there's a panel discussion where we shall discuss about sustainability in detail. So technology, AI-driven, as you know, I have a next slide which will talk about technology in detail. Ethics, we need to be ethical. Yesterday, like 3-4 days ago, I was presenting to a board, to an audit committee meeting of a very big company in Nepal. And then one of the slides that we showed to the audit committee, one of the board members took a slide, picture of my slide, put it in AI and asked the question. And then in that slide, there was a logo of their company. There was the names of that company in my slide. And then he just took a picture, asked AI the question, and he then asked me a few questions based on that. So what I'm trying to say is that that director did not know that you are actually telling AI, sending AI the information about your company. If we do it, we try to hide the names of the company, we try to hide the whatever, and then you only ask the questions. So there are ethical considerations. Just because that director didn't know about the ethical requirements, he just did that. So there are a few considerations that you need to consider. So ethics is something which is also very important. International standards for ethics for digital, whatever assurance has also come. I'll talk about in the next session. No matter what we do, these are three things we need to be like to ensure that the trust is there in whatever things that we do. We need to be competent, we need to be independent, and we need to be accountable. No denying this fact. No matter how things evolve over the years, these three things will remain. These are the basic things that we need to ensure. Competence is something that I would like to go a bit in detail. Technical mastery is very, very important. All of us are have studied very hard, are studying very hard. So technical mastery, I presume all of us will get it. IAS, Accounting International Education Standard 2 to 8 is revised, and updated standards are in alignment with what is required for the world. And continuous professional development, as the lady just said, that there's 10 CPT hours to earn if you are sitting for the entire day, and emerging competencies are required. What I'm actually trying to say here is that lifelong learning, whoever has chosen accounting profession to be their profession should understand a basic thing, that it is a profession for lifelong learning, you know. So when I was doing my CA, my teachers would tell me, you know, Praveen, you have to work 3 years very hard, like hell, read like, you study like very difficult, do it, and then your life will be easy. So when I was a student, I was told that I need to work hard for 3 years. But later on, when I evolved into my profession, when I started my business, my profession, I realized the teachers didn't know that it was not only 3 years. Well, especially for students who are hearing, I will tell you, you have chosen a profession where you're supposed to be studying all your life. Independence is very important. We need to act independent. We need to remain independent, and the stakeholders should perceive us to be independent. So that is also very important. Accountability, as you know, global audit firms have faced financial and reputational consequences due to audit failure. My next slide, I talk about one case where, because of certain issues, this Wirecard, you must have heard, a German company, which went bust, and 24 billion of company's worth was collapse to near zero within weeks. This is not important. The slide is not important. What I'm trying to say is no matter what type of business that we are auditing or what type of business we are talking about, every business, when they get bust, there is only one resultant factor, which is their assets. They have inflated their revenues. Their assets are not there. They are fixed assets. So no matter what case that we talk about, basically the assets are fixed. So lessons for the profession, because in this case, the auditors were there from the inception till the time the company was closed. So lessons for the profession: third-party confirmation risk is there. Digital verification must be replaced. This is very serious. When you are planning an audit, this is to be taken care of. Technology in fraud detection is something which is very important. Auditors' independence, as I already mentioned. Regulatory gaps. Oversight of audit firm must be independent and adequately sought. This happened after SOX, in 2002. There was oversight body. In Pakistan, I just heard from the president that there is an oversight body. In Nepal, we don't have an oversight body. It's the disciplinary committee of the institute, which is actually ensuring that the quality of audit is ensured. And I am the chair for the disciplinary committee in Nepal. And there are professional responses, which is already there in the standards. Now I'm looking for going forward. There is climate and ESG imperative. These are the future perspective reshaping our accountancy profession. Climate and ESG imperative. Digital disruption is something which all of us know. Automation of AI automation. Earlier, we used to teach our students about sampling. In the age of AI will do 100% audit, Continuous 100% auditing will be done. Blockchain, all the speakers have talked about blockchain. If there's an accounting done in different nodes, and if there are hashes, which controls the authenticity of transactions, which cannot be manipulated ever, blockchain will involve continuous auditing. Is already there. Significant investment is done by bigger firms, so we also need to invest. Real-time reporting replaces annual cycles. And trust erosion is something. I've also mentioned Evergrande of Chinese company. There was also misreporting which was not initially detected. Local level auditing failure persists. In Nepal, there are so many cases. I didn't mention it because you would not know, but there are so many cases where there are failure in audit, which is actually was done because the audits were not properly done. So public trust in auditor is tested these days. I have 9 more minutes to go. Artificial intelligence, these are the threats and opportunities. AI is doing 100% testing. As I said, it's already is doable. Contract review. If you are reviewing a contract, you ask the AI, ask the question, it happens quickly. And so anomaly detection in large data sets. If data analysis is something that if you could do it, anomaly detection can be done. Automated working paper generations, as you know, most of us are doing it already. In future, what AI will do? Predictive fraud risk scoring will be done. Real-time continuous audit is something which is not very far. Natural level language reporting, so reporting would be quicker and sharper. Multi-entity group auditing will be easier. Human judgment will remain. So what AI will do? AI will make us, the auditors, into super auditors. It's not that our audit will, so basic level work will go, or basic level work, there will be challenges, but the advisory level, human judgment will remain. I don't think there's any risk. So we professional accountants, if we are competent enough, if we are learning, then so our human judgment will remain essential. Risks to manage. Audit, there are risks as well. So hallucination AI in audit evidence is something we believe too much on AI, and then our decisions may be impacted. algorithm black box explaining issues. We believe these days, when I go to a bank audit, and I ask the professional accountant who is working there, show me the trail of any transaction to the balance sheet, he or she is not aware of it. What he says, you must have faced it as well. They say that this is the system, I insert whatever data here, and the report comes just like this. They are not aware about the transaction trail which we were taught when we were students. So transaction trail, how any transaction, no matter what process that it incurs, goes to the balance sheet level, is something that is to be ensured, and for that we need to be technically competent. Digital financing, I'm closing now. These are, there are a few data that I'm showing here. 10.5 trillion is something which is global crime cost for 2025, as per the Cybersecurity Ventures report. More than half the CEOs say that cyber risk is now a financial reporting matter. You must have faced it. I faced it in my professional career. Whenever I go to especially a bank or an entity which are dealing with lots of public B2C entities, the main concern of the senior management is regarding the risks that is because of the digital whatever is happening. Higher cybersecurity fraud, as you know, there is in the news. Yesterday, Sri Lankan President Tisanji was mentioning about something happening in Sri Lanka, which cost the government $2.5 million. So these are something which is happening around in all the countries. So new role for accountants in digital finance is cyber risk quantification, blockchain audit trails, IT general, digital currency reporting. And what will the skill sets required? So for all these to actually, what are the skill sets that is required for everybody? As I said, it's a continuous learning. All of us, no matter what age we are, if we are into profession, we need to be aware about this. Data analytics, AI literacy. If we are a firm, small firm, we need to then get partnership with young, bright members of professional accountants. I have done in my business, I have a firm with 6 partners. Earlier, we had a requirement that the partner should be somebody who has at least 15 years of post-qualification experience. We changed this to 5 years last year just to ensure that young members could be our partners. And we have 2 who are young and who are quite very good on data analytics and AI literacy. So what we should do is to actually increase the sizes of our firms and ensure that there is adequate expertise available. ESG assurance and climate risk, as I mentioned, is already there. Cybersecurity awareness is something, as I mentioned about a board meeting, which is sometimes earlier, it is something that we need to be aware of, and for that we need to learn. Ethics, as I said, is very important. Business advisory and strategy is something that we could do. No matter what AI comes, this function will remain our forte. We are required to, boards these days, the interactions that we have with the boards and audit committee and the regulators are much more enhanced than it used to be 10 years ago, because it's our role actually to inform everybody what are the risks involved. Communication is something, the way we communicate is something which is very, very important. And this is also a skill set. In our schools, young generations, they are very good at communicating. So this is something for our older generation. We are only made to study technical subjects. We need to learn on a regular basis. We are strategists and ethicists. Integrated thinking is something that we need to do. Ethical leadership, we have to be ethical. So when you are ethical, there's higher scope in the long run. You realize if you are ethical all your way, it actually helps. Stakeholder management is something because expectations have actually changed. So communicate complexity with investors. Data literacy, as I mentioned earlier also, this is very important. Climate finance, we need to ensure that we are talking about it in our next session in detail. Carbon accounting, transaction risk modeling, green bond verification. So cheaper finance for ESG compliant entities is something that is happening. So we need to actually learn about it, change catalyst. So things are getting changed. Same thing is reported in a different slide, actually. We'll be trusted business advisors if we learn new skills. We'll be digital stewards, ESG reporting and assurers, which I've already mentioned. We can create value, drive performance and growth. As I mentioned, this my example of third gear, fourth gear example. Our businesses, if they are going at fourth gear, we need to advise them how to comply, how to increase their business, and then remain compliant. So that whatever I'm saying is actually strategic partnership, risk and governance. This will always remain there. At Safa, what we are actually talking about, we are developing a regional ESG reporting and assurance standard aligned with ISSB. We should create a South Asia AI auditing framework that we can do. Focus on joint CPD programs that we are doing regularly. Liaise with global forums. This is very important that I mentioned here. Liaise with global forums to ensure that our regional ground realities are appropriately considered while frameworks are designed. As mentioned by our Safa president yesterday, in our region, there are 500,000 professional accountants. So we are a force here. So, and then around 2 billion people are in our region. So we should demand global framework creators to actually consider our region as well. Regional collaboration in attracting everything. For accounting firms, invest in AI tools. All of us are doing. If not, we should think about it. Hire a specialist alongside traditional audit staffs. Offer integrated services, reporting to SME clients, embedded ethics, as I already mentioned. And finally, I conclude. My time has just ended. The bottom line here, 30 minutes is gone. So bottom line, the accountants who can verify, assure, communicate, trust is the most valuable professional in the room. So what I'm trying to say is we need to talk about the topic of this conference that you have actually chosen is very relevant. We need to talk about ESG. We have to be talking about and actually improving, learning things about digital literacy and how we integrate into the jobs that we are doing, and trust is something we need to ensure. I will remain here. Thank you for this opportunity, giving me this opportunity to present. And if there's any question, though it's not planned, but if there's any question, I'll be taking it in the next session. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our life is actually based on trust. Thank you so much, Mr. Prabin Kumarja, for sharing such valuable and forward-looking insights with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming another MOC of this event, Ms. Sabine Naqvi. She is CMA finalist and a prominent member of Student Publication Society from Lahore campus. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my dear fellow Sayyida Sabine Naqvi.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Malaika. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first panel discussion of this prestigious conference. Put your hands together for the first panel discussion. In today's rapidly changing global landscape, sustainability and ESG are no longer conversations limited to compliance. They are shaping the future of investment and corporate leadership. With this, we commence discussion 1 on sustainability, accounting, and ESG from compliance to value creation. We are honored to have with us a panel of highly accomplished professionals who bring valuable insights and practical experience to this important conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists. So, the first panelist of this discussion is Tishan Subhasing, President of CA Sri Lanka.
Mr. MD Kausar Alam, FCMA, President of ICMAB.
The third panelist, Mr. CA Praveen Kumar Jha.
With him we have Mr. AF Nisaruddin, FCA, former President of ICAB.
Mr. Asad Firozi, Council Member of ICAP.
Mr. Sajid Aslam, partner and co-founder of Sustainability LLC USA. To moderate this highly important session, I would like to invite Mr. Rizwan Malik. Mr. Rizwan Malik is a seasoned corporate leader and certified climate finance expert with over 25 years of experience across manufacturing, advisory, public-private partnerships, governance, and sustainable business transformation.
Ladies and gentlemen, with such an esteemed and diverse panel, this promises to be a highly significant discussion. Over to the moderator.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Safa panel discussion on ESG and sustainability. And we are delighted to have a very esteemed and professional leaders with us. Let's unpack and get some insights from these regional leaders. I would request to the panelists that I will throw some questions, and I would request you to be concise for the sake of time so that everyone gives his input in a proper manner. So starting from Mr. Mohammed Kausar Alam, President ICMAB, I would like to ask you that as a group CFO of a multinational company, how are ESG considerations influencing financial decision making in your organization?
Hello. Good morning. And at the outset, I would like to congratulate ICMA Pakistan for marking this 75th years and celebrating this grand occasion of 75th anniversary. I congratulate ICMA Institute, entire body, all concerned. And also we are very happy to see this grand conference starting yesterday on Safa International Conference on Future of Finance Summit 2026. The topic is also very timely. So I would actually answer the question in terms of the CFO role in terms of sustainability. So sustainability is something it is being as part of our role for last few decades. So this mostly talking about the soft aspect of business, environmental, social, and governance related issues. Just few moments back, I was discussing with my colleague that these are soft part, but in today's world, sustainability definition evolved in the late 80s. It's like consume today by keeping tomorrow's generation interest intact. It is a big definition, but the one line meaning is let us not eat out everything, keep the next generation thing for them as well as part of their cake. So importantly, in today's world, today as it stands, as I could see from today's newspaper, that total global debt aggregate of the entire globe is $253 trillion. So this is something not soft like ESG, this is hard currency. So The entire globe is eating out the tomorrow's money. They are lending money to eat today and those consequences would be coming tomorrow. Many economies are actually allocating the big portion of their annual budget, fiscal budget, for debt financing. It is starting from developed economy to developing economy everywhere. So this is the context, not fully pertinent to the question. Coming to the question, actually, how we should approach in corporate level in terms of ESG protection. So as a CFO of an organization, we can actually look at starting from financing, like the financing itself has various elements in terms of, or incentive elements, I would rather say. Let's take for working capital financing, if you can, as per IFRS or IFRS S1, S2 for bank, if you can comply with certain parameters, then there would be lesser cost for working capital financing. And also similarly for energy efficient capital investment for energy efficient machineries, there are also significant savings. Like in my case, I am working for a international cement company. So we have actually bought super energy efficient machine. So we got significant interest cost benefit. Additional interest cost versus 12% versus the energy efficient rate is 5%. So this is a big incentive. In terms of the incentive also, investment in energy efficient companies for my surplus fund. So those are ESG compliant organization or bond, green bond, those actually give a premium return over the conventional financing system. Also in terms of a banker's part, like in terms of their fund allocation, in today's world, they in fact allocate more funds towards the energy compliant organization. Also further to add, like in case of any business valuation, the ESG compliance organization have more preference in terms of greater value because their risk is comprehensively managed, not only financial risk, environmental risk also fully taken care of. So ESG related risk adjustment at their discounted cash flow value much higher than a traditional one. So this is how an organization can get
Ladies and gentlemen,
significant value.
ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Mr. S. N. Iqbal, Federal Minister.
Sure. Huh? Next part. Oh, let me finish. So last part of my answer. Also, as a CFO, we should actually be proactive in terms of IFRS S1, S2. Those are actually now coming as mandatory across the world and also across this part of the globe in the continent. In Safa territory, one country after another is making it mandatory. It is equally mandatory for Bangladesh also. So we should proactively focus on it in terms of compliance. That actually would help business efficiency and also in terms of complying with the international law and exposure to get more and more FDIs and other international attentions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaushal Alam. And I'm glad to learn from you that you have termed these ESG words from soft to hard, because these really come hard on the financial decisions. So next we have with us Prabin Kumar, Vice President Safa. And keeping in view your regulatory and advisory perspective, please enlighten us how an ESG framework be effectively implemented in emerging markets.
Thank you, Ridwan Saab, for the question. Again, I will thank ICMAP and congratulate them for their celebrating 75th year of their existence. Such a great gathering that we have. Regarding the question from regulatory perspective, how we can do it, You know, I'm from Nepal, so I'll talk more considering Nepalese situation. There is a resistance to actually implement. I don't know about your country, but there is a resistance from institutions to actually implement. They say that, you know, the West did what they did and they have industrial whatever growth, and then now these things are coming to us, though because of this geopolitical changes that has happened lately. But what is actually happening is there are three types of decisions that we can make. I'm talking as a regulator now. One is a good decision. The best decision is a good decision. The second type of decision is a bad decision, is also a good in a sense that if it's a bad decision, you can fix it. After you realize you learn something out of it. And the third, the worst decision is indecision. So if you don't take any decision, wait. So if there's a resistance, we cannot wait. We have to anyways do it. But rather than going hard and implementing it, like making it compulsory, mandatory, and if they are not reported properly, penalized, is something that we should not do in the emerging market initially. There has to be, you actually either comply, or if not, if you cannot comply, you should actually explain. So I think we can just by going blindly saying just because S1, S2 is applied around the world from in certain jurisdiction in 2024 already, we should not just adopt it as such, but we should like get it slowly. So awareness is governance is something, because in one of my practical experiences, you know, we made a presentation to a board and we showed them what are the benefits, and they formed a committee, board committee, which is exclusively looking at ESG. They hired an independent director who is a university professor, just like you guys, who is an expert in ESG. And then they asked us to create a risk score, risk matrix, you know. And then they realize there are benefits that they can have, even if they are not reporting entirely, they are not applying S1, S2, but there are benefits that they could, their operation efficiency is increasing, their young hiring is actually, people are actually looking at the company whether it's compliant or not. So we should go gradually, I suppose, and then you explain it if you cannot do it. That way I think it will be easier.
Thank you, Praveen, for such a rich perspective on this subject. For the time being, we will take a little pause, and we have some. We will invite our Federal Minister, Mr. Hassan Iqbal, for a short speech, and then we will continue. You will remain seated, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege and honor to invite our esteemed chief guest, Professor Hassan Iqbal, Federal Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives and Interprovincial Initiatives, to address the distinguished gathering. Please welcome Mr. Hassan Iqbal in a big round of applause.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Distinguished guests, esteemed regional delegates, Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA, Mr. Asim Hussain Khan, Senior Director, Members, Professional Development, distinguished leadership of Safa, and respected members of profession, ladies and gentlemen. I actually had a conflict this morning because I also have to attend a ceremony at Lahore Chamber. So then I really had to work out where should I go. So I tried a number of discount rates, but you know, management accountants ceremony always came up with a positive net present value. So, so I just chose to first come here and then go there. So it is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to join you on this historic occasion of Diamond Jubilee of ICMA. 75 years in the life of an institution is not merely a passage of time, it is a testimony of its relevance, resilience, and service. Institutions that survive for decades do so because they respond to the needs of their time. Institutions that flourish for decades do so because they are helping shape the future. For 75 years, this institution has produced professionals who have served Pakistan's industry, public sector, academia, financial institutions, state-owned enterprises, and policy-making forums with distinction. It has contributed to the building of the managerial, financial, and governance capacity of our country. On behalf of Government of Pakistan and Ministry of Planning and Development, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the President, the Council, members, faculty, students, alumni, and the entire ICMA Pakistan fraternity on this proud national achievement. Today, however, we are not simply celebrating the past, we are asking a larger question. What role must accountancy play as Pakistan moves towards its centenary in 2047? That is why the theme of this summit, Reimagining Accountancy, Sustainability, Technology, and Future of Trust, is both timely and strategic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living through one of the most disruptive periods in modern economic history. The global economy is being reshaped by artificial intelligence, climate change, geopolitical uncertainty, supply chain disruptions and realignments, debt pressures, energy transitions, and growing pressures of trust in institutions. In such a world, accountancy can no longer be seen merely as a technical bookkeeping or compliance function. It now stands at the heart of three questions of our times. How do we measure value? How do we manage resources? And how do we rebuild trust? Nations do not progress only by building roads, factories, and power plants. Nations progress when they build credible institutions. And credible institutions are built on transparency, efficiency, integrity, and accountability. These are precisely the values that the accountancy profession stands for. Pakistan today stands at a defining moment. We are moving from stabilization towards transformation. Through Udan Pakistan, the government has laid a national economic transformation agenda built around exports, digital transformation, climate resilience, energy and infrastructure, and equity and empowerment. Our ambition is clear: to place Pakistan on the path towards a $1 trillion economy by 2035 with a strong export base, modern industries, productive agriculture, a vibrant digital economy, skilled human capital, and globally competitive enterprises. But this ambition cannot be achieved by slogans alone. It requires systems, it requires dynamism and discipline, it requires measurement, and it requires accountability. As the well-known management principle says, what gets measured gets done. I would add, what gets measured honestly gets transformed. This is where ICMA Pakistan and the accountancy profession have a critical national role. Pakistan's development challenge is not only a shortage of resources, it is also a challenge of productivity, efficiency, governance, and trust. We must ensure that every rupee of public expenditure, every development project, every investment decision, and every corporate commitment delivers measured and desired value. This requires cost discipline, management accounting, value for money assessment, performance budgeting, and transparent reporting. The management accountant, therefore, is not just a financial professional. He or she is a guardian of efficiency, a custodian of institutional discipline, and a partner in national development. The first pillar of this summit, sustainability, is really very relevant for Pakistan. For Pakistan, sustainability is not an abstract idea, it is a lived reality, as you know, from the floods of 2022 and floods of 2025. Climate change has already affected our agriculture, water resources, infrastructure, livelihoods, food, and human security. Pakistan contributes less than 1% of global carbon emissions, yet remains among the countries most vulnerable to climate shocks. This injustice demands global climate responsibility, but it also demands domestic institutional readiness. If Pakistan is to access climate finance, attract green investment, build resilient infrastructure, and transition towards sustainable growth, we must strengthen our systems of sustainability reporting, climate risk disclosure, and transparent resource management. Sustainability cannot be managed through speeches. It has to be measured through credible data. It has to be audited through robust standards. It has to be reported through internationally trusted frameworks. Environmental, social, and governance commitments must not become fashionable terminology. They must become measurable commitments, and we must move from ESG as branding to ESG as accountability. I therefore urge ICMA Pakistan's Safa and other professional bodies to take a leadership role in building capacity for sustainability reporting, climate finance accounting, carbon disclosures, integrated reporting, and adoption of globally credible sustainability standards. The accountant of the future must be able to answer not only what profit did we make, but also what value did we create, what risks did we reduce, and what legacy did we leave. The second pillar of this conference is technology. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud-based ERP systems, data analytics, predictive modeling, digital payments, and real-time audit tools are changing the foundations of financial management. Some people view technology as a threat to professionals. I view it as a test of leadership. Technology will not replace accountants, but accountants who understand technology will replace who do not understand technology. The future belongs to professionals who combine financial wisdom with digital competence. The management accountant of tomorrow must understand data architecture, cyber risk, automation, algorithmic biases, digital controls, and real-time dashboards. He or she must be able to interpret not only financial statements, but also data flows. For government, technology is equally critical. Pakistan cannot build a modern state with outdated systems. We cannot strengthen public finance management, improve revenue systems, or reduce leakages, monitor development spending, or enhance service delivery without digital governance. I encourage ICMA to lead a national effort in three areas. First, integrate artificial intelligence, data analytics, digital finance, cyber governance, and sustainability reporting into its professional education. Second, support government institutions in strengthening public financial management, development, project monitoring, and performance-based budgeting. And here, I would like to make an offer to ICMA to work with our ministry to work towards an outcome-based budgeting for the development sector budget that we manage, and to work with us how we can bring in greater transparency in utilization of development budget of Pakistan. So I'm willing to sign an MOU with ICMA so that we can work together to safeguard and protect every rupee that goes into development expenditure so that it can give us the desired outcomes and results. Third, prepare professionals who are not merely users of digital systems, but architects of transparent and technology-enabled governance. The future of accountancy will not be defined by calculators, computer, laptops, and ledgers alone. It will be defined by algorithms, analytics, ethics, and judgment. The third and perhaps the most important pillar is trust. Trust is the invisible infrastructure of every economy. Roads connect cities, ports connect markets, digital networks connect people, but trust connects institutions and citizens. Without trust, contracts become weak, markets become uncertain, investment becomes hesitant, citizens become cynical, and institutions become fragile. And the most important thing that comes out of trust is the sentiment. And I always tell people that whether it is a country or it is a business, you will come across companies that have very strong balance sheets, but they don't have the right sentiment in the market. They remain out of business. And then there are companies whose balance sheets are not very strong, but they enjoy a good sentiment or trust in the market. They are able to bounce back and do better. So what really matters for any country is that how can it promote positive sentiment, and that essentially will come through building trust. Unfortunately, Pakistan was on a great stride 2013 to 2018 with China-Pakistan economic corridor on our back, and we were able to build that positive sentiment, not within the country, but internationally. But then what happened after 2018, I will not dwell into details. The whole trust was lost because of the disruption in the policy continuity. So now one important lesson that we have to learn as a nation is that in order to build a strong edifice of development, we need to build an ecosystem that rests or strands on 4 strong pillars. This is the ecosystem that you find in every successful economy: peace, political stability, continuity of policies, and a continuous commitment to modernization and reform. These 4 values have to be embedded in our ecosystem. Unless we have them as the pillars and foundations of our development. You can bring all the Nobel laureates in economics from the world and give them the responsibility to fix the economy, nothing will move. But if these four pillars, if they are there, फिर हमारे जैसे गुनाहगार भी बहुत कुछ करके दिखा सकते हैं. So this is what is critical. And as I said, this all comes through reliability, through continuity, through stability, through commitment to reform, and that brings positive sentiment and trust. Every financial scandal, every manipulated disclosure, every hidden liability, every poorly governed enterprise, and every misreported number damages more than one organization. It damages public confidence in the system. This is why the accountancy profession carries a moral responsibility beyond technical compliance. It is a profession of public trust. A good accountant does not merely ask, is it legal? A good accountant also asks, is it fair? Is it transparent? Is it in the public interest? Technical competence may build a career, but integrity builds institutions. As Pakistan seeks investment, export competitiveness, and institutional reform, trust will be one of our most valuable national assets. Investors look for trust, citizens demand trust, and institutional partners require trust, and markets reward trust. ICMA Pakistan's 75-year legacy has been built on this principle. The next phase must deepen this legacy by making ethics, transparency, and public interest the defining identity of your profession. Ladies and gentlemen, as Minister for Planning, Development, and Special Initiatives, I am deeply conscious that public confidence in government depends upon transparency, delivery, and accountable use of public resources. And therefore, this offer of partnership for me is very important. Pakistan's development portfolio involves thousands of projects and trillions of rupees of public investment. These projects must not be evaluated only by allocations and expenditure. They must be evaluated for their outcomes and impact. Did the project improve lives? Did it reduce poverty? Did it enhance productivity? Did it create jobs? Did it increase exports? Did it close regional gaps? Or did it deliver value for money? This is the transformation we need in public governance and budgeting, from input-based spending to outcome-based development. Management accountants can play a major role in this shift. We need stronger cost audits, life cycle costing, value for money assessments, performance budgeting, project appraisal, risk management, and financial monitoring across the public sector. I strongly believe there is a significant room for collaboration between the Government of Pakistan and ICMA Pakistan in public sector reform. ICMA professionals can support ministries, provincial departments, state-owned enterprises, and development authorities in strengthening financial discipline and institutional performance. And let me give you one more example how a cost and management accountancy can greatly bring transparency. Sometime back, we did a costing analysis of how much does it cost for one bed sheet procurement in a DHQ hospital in the 4 provinces. Now, this was done back in 98 or something. So I do not remember the exact value in rupees, but I still have very clear idea of the relative difference that came out in the 4 provinces. If in one province that same bed sheet was being procured for 400 rupees, in another province it was being procured for 650, yet in another it was being procured for 1200 rupees, and yet in another it was being procured for 4,500 rupees. Now, this is where cost accounting can greatly help government measure its service delivery. How much is it costing each province to pass a student in matriculation examination? How much is it costing each government to treat a particular type of a patient disease? How much is it costing our judiciary across different levels of judicial system to dispose of costs? Where is efficiency? Where is inefficiency? So this is where cost accounting, I think, has great relevance for public sector management, and we have to ensure that we can work together and save every rupee of our people, taxpayers' money. Pakistan cannot afford waste, duplication, delays, and cost overruns. Every rupee saved through efficiency is a rupee available for education, health, infrastructure, skills for our youth, and poverty reduction. I'm also pleased that this summit has brought together distinguished professionals from South Asia under the South Asia Forum. Our region faces shared challenges: climate vulnerability, informal economies, fiscal pressures, infrastructure gaps, digital transition, public sector reform, and the need to attract investment. I was told that when I asked whether we have delegates from India, so they said no, they chose not to come. So I always tell to my Indian friends, the problem with South Asia is South Asia cooperation, whether it is SAARC or any forum, is that if India had a heart 1/4 the size of its geography, the dynamics of South Asia would have been different. So that's unfortunate. These challenges cannot be addressed in isolation. Professional cooperation across South Asia can help raise standards, promote mobility, harmonize reporting practices, and strengthen regional credibility, because we have very similar system and challenges and opportunities. I encourage Safa members' bodies to deepen cooperation in sustainability reporting, digital financial governance, public sector accounting standards, climate finance, capacity building, and professional education. To the young professionals present here today, let me say this clearly: you are entering this profession at a moment of historic opportunity. Your generation will not only prepare accounts, you will help shape how organizations respond to artificial intelligence, climate change, digital economies, governance challenges, and public expectations. Therefore, never think of yourself as a narrow technical professional. Think of yourself as a reformer and a nation builder. Acquire knowledge, master technology, understand global standards, but above all, protect your integrity. There will be moments in your career when silence will be easy and truth will be difficult, but choose truth. There will be moments when compromise will appear convenient and integrity will appear costly. Choose integrity. There will be moments when you will be asked to sign off on numbers that do not reflect reality. Remember, a professional signature is not ink on a paper. It is a statement of character. Pakistan needs professionals who are competent, confident, courageous. Ladies and gentlemen, as ICMA Pakistan enters the next chapter of its journey, I would urge the institution to embrace an even larger national mission. Let ICMA Pakistan become a national center for excellence, for management accounting, sustainability reporting, public financial management, digital finance, institutional governance, and become our partner in ensuring $1 trillion economy by 2035 through Udan Pakistan. Let it support Pakistan's transformation by producing professionals who can serve not only corporations, but also government, regulators, development institutions, startups, exporters, and public enterprises. In the next 25 years, as Pakistan moves towards 2047, we will need institutions that will think beyond routine. We will need professionals who can lead change, and we will need governance systems that inspire confidence. We will need data that can be trusted and decisions that can be defended. ICMA can play a defining role in this journey. In conclusion, 75 years ago, ICMA Pakistan began its journey in a young nation searching for institutional strength. Today, it stands as a mature, credible, and respected professional body at a time when Pakistan is once again preparing for a new era of transformation, and Pakistan stands proudly after winning Marka-e-Haq with a new stature before international community. Let us turn this moment into an opportunity for our country. Task before us is clear. We must build an economy that is competitive, transparent, sustainable, and inclusive. We must build institutions that command confidence. We must build governance systems that deliver results. And we must build a professional culture where competence is matched by character. I once again congratulate President Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, Council of ICMA Pakistan, the Safa leadership, distinguished delegates, members and organizers for convening this important summit. May this Diamond Jubilee not only celebrate 75 years of achievement, but also mark the beginning of a new era of leadership, innovation, and service by ICMA Pakistan. May Allah bless your efforts and guide us all in the service of Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, for your inspiring address and informing regarding government initiatives and steps for the progress of Pakistan, and also the detailed importance of accountants in economy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for souvenir distribution ceremony, and it's request to Mr. Ehsan Iqbal to remain on stage. I would also like to invite Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, President Safa, to join on stage for souvenir distribution ceremony. Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Amir Ijaz, Executive Director, and Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, Chairman Strategic Board. Mr. Abdul Qayyum, Treasurer.
Now we have Mr. Tishan Subatsinghi to receive his souvenir. All the panelists are requested to please receive their souvenirs and be on stage for the panel discussion continuation. Shield for Mr. Tishan Subatsinghi. Next we have Mr. M.D. Kausar Alam. With that, we have Mr. C.A. Prabin Kumar Jha. With that, we have Mr. A.F. Nisaruddin. With that, we have Mr. Asad Feroz. Next, we have Mr. Sajid Aslam. And at last, we have Mr. Rizwan Malik to receive his souvenir.
I would also like to invite Mr. Zishan Ijaz, President ICAP, to join on the stage for souvenir distribution ceremony. Vice President ICAP. Jazeb Amin, would you also like to join on stage?
Please welcome Mr. Sanzeb Amin.
I would also like to invite Mr. Shfaq Yusuf Tola to join on the stage. Now I would like to request Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir and Mr. Muhammad Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMAP, to present souvenir to Mr. Ahsan Iqbal.
Thank you so much, everyone. A big round of applause for everyone present on stage. All the panelists are required to please be seated for continuation of panel discussion. Audience, your appreciation is required.
Thank you so much.
So we are thankful to the Federal Minister, Professor Dr. Ahsan Iqbal, for giving us time and such a rich insights about the commitments of Pakistan's government regarding sustainability, technology, and accounting profession. So now we continue our panel discussion. We just had some question and his detailed reply with Mr. Vipin Kumar. Next, we move to Mr. Nasaruddin, former president of ICAB, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh. Uh, I had little chat with Ben Nasiruddin, and he has very deep insights and perspective or experience on governance. So I would like to put the question with the relevant experience. Like, would you like to tell us what about your experience with respect to investigations and governance? How can ESG reporting avoid becoming a box-ticking exercise and really can be turned into a fruitful activity? Please, sir.
Respected moderator, Mr. Zohan Ahmed, Safa leaders, leaders of the accounting profession in the Safa region, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to you all. Yeah, basically, box ticking, it doesn't matter whether it's a report is box ticking, it's a PowerPoint, or it's a narrative, it doesn't matter. The important point is whether the report has been prepared without proper care and due diligence or not. Sometimes reports are prepared with inadequate information and inadequate due diligence, and in some cases, the reports are prepared on a proper due diligence and third-party confirmation. That is very important. You know, in this subcontinent, we have inherited legal system from the British. So we have all rules, regulation, and I do not find, especially in Bangladesh, there's a lack of rules and regulation, and even policy, even guidelines. The problem is the adherence to rules and regulation, compliance of the rules and regulation. For example, we have a Department of Environment. We have all the rules and regulation. Even all the companies, they need to have an environmental certificate, factory licenses, and all this. Then we have regulation about the corporate social responsibility. We have also guidelines for governance by Bangladesh Security Exchange Commission as well as the Central Bank of Bangladesh. The problem lies whether these are being, exercised properly or not. Frankly speaking, the reports that we find that these are published, except corporate governance, other reports are not examined by third party. For example, we have a corporate governance guideline from BSEC, Bangladesh Security Exchange Commission, and from that guidelines perspective, the corporate governance auditor certifies something. But on the other side, the environment and social, this is given by the management. So auditors, they do not find enough scope to, actually they don't have any access to that report. They find it once it is published. So these are very critical that these should be examined by third party and facts and figures, because there are many risks involved in this kind of. The second part is that you have mentioned about my experience. Yes, I have conducted many investigation, especially the fraud examination and all of that. If I summarize all this, the basic thing lies in the governance. When the governance failed, then there is a scope for corruption. When there is a corruption, economies are impacted. This is the chain. This is the chain that we have experienced and we have seen. In the board of directors, if the board members are not interactive, if the independent director are not competent, in the board is not strong enough to ensure the governance, there should be it is inevitable that corruption will happen. Same thing, not even the corporate level, even the government level. You know that in 2024 August, our government failed. And if you summarize what happens to this government, why they failed, the fundamental reason was the governance failure. So governance failure is very important unless you can ensure the governance at the government level, at the corporate level, even at the family level. So everything will go out of your control. So from that perspective, we must ensure that yes, governance is very important, and unless the governance is strict, the corruption can't be controlled, and if it cannot be controlled, then your economic growth is impacted. This is very summary. The first, lastly, I would say that there should be, there are and there should be enough laws and regulation and policies. Again, then there should be strict monitoring of this, and finally it should be reported by, with the third party assurance. Thank you very much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Nasiruddin. We really got good insights from you. You talked about investigations and corporate governance and linking it with ESG. Next, we have Mr. Sajid Aslam, a partner of sustainability. For you, I have a very different question. Like, I would like you to explain us how to link this ESG and sustainability with sustainable finance in the emerging markets.
Thank you, Rizwan, and thank you, ICMA and Safa, to arrange that. I think I'll use a very, very simple equation which defines everything. So it's a verified impact is equal to financial asset. So if you have an impact which you can verify through governance, through policy, through strategy, through risk management, and you have a third-party assurance around it, so you create that financial asset which can attract the climate finance, sustainability-linked loans. We can talk about blended finance. So there could be a lot of additional instruments which get triggered if you can really represent a verified impact within the organization level. And if you take the same concept which Mr. Hassan Iqbal was also talking about and Khurram Shahzad always talk about, you take it to the public sector and the PFM, and you can demonstrate the same verified impact of SDG, you can start attracting FDI as well as climate finance or sustainability or blended financial instrument to the country level as well. So the fundamental goes verification. There has to be impact tangible. It can't be just a fluff. It can't be just a narrative. We need to quantify that from a baseline to progress to the target. And then we need a third party like accountants to create that kind of assurance. And as soon as that's available, then you take that information to the investors, to the development agencies, to your customer if you are an organization, that I am a better partner with you because it's not only something I'm providing, but while I'm providing that product or services, I'm taking care of the communities and I'm taking care of the planet as well, which is our governance related subject always. It's not today. 15,000 years ago, that was a subject of governance. 200 years back, it was a subject of governance. We ignored that. The governance was not only about what we are doing in a business, it's what the business is doing about the natural assets and the community. So now we need to stress more because of the impact is there. Second part, I think it's not only about reporting, it's going down deeply around how we are going to change the strategy. So if we are looking at the sustainable finance, so that should be a part of a strategy, and we should look at that, how we are really conducting the business. It's just like a strong balance sheet, bring a higher valuation for the share. You can attract more funding, you can get into more contract. Similarly, if your operations are sustainable, so that can give you access to new markets, new customer, and new avenues of the funding as well. It's just that how you will structure that, how you can take advantage of that low cost financing, just making sure you are doing the right thing and you are reporting it with the right global standards and you are getting it verified. So it's the entire journey from the impact to equity. When we talk about, it's all about changing the mindset from just reporting something to going into creating a real impact, creating that, bringing that verification, and then accessing that sustainable finance side of it.
So thank you, Sajid. I think the audience got the point that sustainability is not a standalone simple reporting. It is deeply rooted with financial management and funds planning and access to the capital. So thank you, Sajid. Before I go to the next panelist, I would request the audience to connect your mobiles with Wi-Fi, because we will be inviting you to participate in a poll soon, within next 5 to 10 minutes. So you can activate your mobiles with Wi-Fi, and then we tell you how you will be participating. So we have Mr. Asad Feroz, Council Member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. I would like you to explain us what steps Pakistan has particularly taken in the area of sustainability reporting and how the roadmap is changing, how we are adopting the standards, please.
Thank you very much, Rizwan. Firstly, I would like to congratulate ICMA for holding this magnificent SAFA event. And I would also like to welcome the SAFA delegates who have come all the way from different countries. And it is our honor and privilege again to host all of you here. And I think events like this is actually very important for our regional harmonization. And we keep on meeting virtually, but these in-person meetings are so very important. Coming to your point, we have in audience Mr. Ashfaq Tola at the Institute of Accountants of Pakistan when he was the president. It was around 4 or 5 years ago, and currently is the advisor to Safa as well. We started off working on sustainability, and then we were actively part of the whole sustainability roadmap, the ESG sustain that SECP developed. One of the essentially one of the most important stakeholders ICAP worked on. We held awareness sessions, Pan Pakistan. We engaged almost all stakeholders there. And then we went into master classes for sustainability standards that were globally released in 2023. We adopted them in Pakistan. We recommended to SECP in 2024. And for this will be the first year of implementation of sustainability standards in Pakistan. It's a phase-wise implementation that is going to happen. And this is the first year of its implementation where the most large size entities would be actually implementing certain portions of IFRS S1 and S2. It will not be 100% implementation, but it is going into step by step. And then there would be the next level of large. Perhaps the mic said it's now. Okay.
Thank you, Asad. I think what you emphasized that Pakistan has never been lagging in adopting the international standards at earliest. And with respect to sustainability, IFRS S1, S2, Pakistan has adopted these standards well in time, and we are heading in the right direction. And that's good to know. Tishan, thank you for waiting and sitting at the end of the line, but we will give you ample time. Dishan is president of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, and I would like that you please throw some light on a very particular issue, that this is a new, very new subject and emerging subject, and we lack the capacity, we lack the trainings. How you are looking that professional bodies should focus on promoting the ESG awareness and capacity building? What steps we should take as a regional countries from the SAFA forum and from the regional bodies?
Thank you for that question. I think we are making a common mistake. Most of the PAOs, because we speak about ESG, IFRS S1, S2, then IPSAS-B, SRS1, all these accounting stuff, ESG in the context of accounting. But I believe we need to create awareness of the big picture, from where all these things are coming. All these are linked to UN's SDGs. And all professions are responding to these. Even at country level, the countries are also responding to this. Finance ministries, etc. There are various requirements, various reporting requirements to the United Nations. Now, the accountants' response to the UN's SDGs through IFAC and ISSAB would be IFRS S1, S2, IPSAS-B S1, and related assurance standards. I'm also an attorney at law. I know how the legal profession is also responding. Environmental related laws are getting revised, amended. Then if you take certain judicial activities, including public interest related judgments. Those are aligned with the new thinking in the context of sustainability, ESG, particularly public interest related litigation. Then we speak, engineers are responding, sustainable engineering, likewise, all professions are responding. But the origin, UN's SDGs. Now, how the countries are responding, let's have a look at it. Recently, Sri Lankan Finance Ministry introduced National Capital Accounting, which is aligned with the thinking of United Nations system of environmental economic accounting, which requires to measure, value, disclose certain types of resources within a country, including forest ecosystem, water deposits and resources, etc. So this is my take. Now, as a citizen of Sri Lanka, I would not be comfortable disclosing information about where our water deposits are, water resources. These international agencies, they are funded by the powerful economies. And in future, in time to come, countries would wage war not for fuel deposits. They would wage war for access to clean water. I mean, these are forthcoming. So in this context, we need to really understand certain dynamics behind all these movements also. And what we do as a PO from the Sri Lankan context, we not only position accounting related ESG, IFRS, S1 technical matters. We also speak about these higher level concepts at international and national level, beyond accounting and finance. So in this context, at the moment, we are in the process of creating this general awareness. And in the meantime, we have also established a faculty purely dedicated for sustainability reporting and thinking. In that context, we introduced a new qualification, Certified Sustainability Reporting and Strategy Consultant, if an accountant wants to get further specialized in sustainability related areas, so we offer that qualification. And we are going to have our first ever sustainability summit. It would be an international event, so we have invited the British High Commissioner, and we are going to speak about a little on highly, core technical material, but at a higher level, ESG and natural capital accounting aligned subjects we would be and UN's SDG, how UN's SDGs are linked to IFRS S1, S2 and other technical. These are the things that we are going to discuss at a higher level.
Certainly, yes. Thank you, Dishan. Actually, what you are focusing that we really need to focus on the training and capacity building, and this is an immediate need for the institutions to work on this. Just one more thing, that businesses normally hesitate to investment on ESG commitments because of the long-term returns. So what do you advise that how this ESG commitments should be balanced with the profitability and growth? Tishan.
Sorry, ESG measures.
Yes, how the ESG commitments to be linked with the profitability and growth.
And growth, yeah, of course. So I believe now ESG, when we speak about sustainability, sustainability, it's not merely climate-related matters. It includes sustainability of organizations also. When the concept is getting promoted, getting positioned, obviously it would have a positive impact on sustainability of profits also going forward over a period of time. So I would say these two are interlinked. So profitability over short, medium, and long term, and So if the real sustainability, the core spirit of the concept being rolled forward within organization, it would really strike the balance between the profit as well as the ESG endeavors.
Thank you, Tishan. I would request the whole audience to connect with this Slido. If you are connected with the Wi-Fi, go to the Google and just put in slido.com. When you enter the slido.com, it will ask you a number. You can add this number and this will take you to the questions which you have to answer. You can also join this through the QR code. So through these questionnaires, we will be able to have good feedback and participation of the audience. Slido.com and then this number. For the guys at the back, sorry for disturbing your tea, but if you get log into this, you will really learn and get something good out of this. So I think people have entered in this slido.com and got the questions. It will be displayed here. So these are the questions. Can you please display the questions? So the first question is, which ESG pillar is receiving the greatest focus from your organizations today? So the poll has told us that 55% have, 58% has replied that governance is the greatest focus. And then the environmental, integrated reporting, and the social. And no one has voted for the social. So that's also an important area. So thank you for giving your feedback. We have received 13 feedbacks. Please continue. So by the poll of the audience, the ESG pillar receiving the greatest focus is governance. So rightfully, so I think let's move to the next question. Please move to the next question, next poll.
Next question, yeah.
Yes, yes.
He's not listening.
So the second question is, which technology will have the biggest impact on accountants? Is this the artificial intelligence, blockchain, data analytics, or cloud computing, or robotic process automation? So artificial intelligence is coming up the most important. I think the participants are busy in tea now. So if you are reading these questions, the purpose of the questions is to get the feedback from the audience. Let's participation is rising. That's good. So some people have selected data analytics and cloud computing. So thank you very much for your patience, and I'm thankful to the panelists for giving us the rich insights from their diversified experiences. And now we close this panel discussion, and I am thankful to all the audience for listening us with the patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I would request to all the gentlemen to remain on stage for the group photo. And I would also like to invite Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMAP, Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMAP, Ashfaq Yusuf Tola Saab, Khurram Shahzad Saab, Advisor to Finance Minister, Mr. Asad Hamid Khan, Country Head ACCA, Mr. Humayun Kabir, President Safa, please gentlemen join on stage for the group photo. Thank you so much for your presence. Now I would like to invite my other co-host, Ms. Malaika and Ms. Sabine, to continue with the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the insightful discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you back to the next segment of this prestigious conference. We now resume the conference with another highly significant and forward-looking discussion. Following the insightful conversation on sustainability, accounting, and ESG, from compliance to value chain, we now shift our focus towards another transformative force shaping the future of the profession. So, the name of the panel discussion too is Digital Transformation of the Accounting Profession.
A meaningful conversation requires diverse perspectives, and we are fortunate to have with us an exceptional panel of experts who have significantly contributed to the evolving landscape of finance, technology, and professional practice. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I introduce our respected panelists. At first, we have Mr. Mehtabuddin Ahmed, FCMA, immediate past president of ICMA-B.
The second panelist of this discussion is Mr. Ashfaq Yusuf Tola, FCA, FCMA, advisor and immediate past president, Safa.
With him, we have Mr. Mehboob Ahmed Siddiqui, FCA, who is Executive Secretary, Safa, and member IFAC.
The next panelist of this discussion is Mr. Asanga I. Vimalarate, Council Member CMA Sri Lanka and multi-qualified finance professional.
Next, we have Mr. Zubaidul Hassan, FCMA, General Manager Finance and Business Development at Altec Prime Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Now we have Mr. Chaudhry Tariq Subhani, Chairman of Punjab Land Records Authority, Session Chairman. Please put your hands together for all the panelists.
To moderate this session, I would like to invite Mr. Ali Asjad Rizvi, FCMA. Mr. Ali Asjad Rizvi is an accomplished finance and business professional with more than 20 years of experience in industry. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our esteemed panelists. Over to the moderator.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now the second panel discussion is going to start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I am thankful to the ICMAB for giving me an opportunity to be moderator of this session. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the honorable panelists who joined me this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me in this session. Digitalization. We are at a very important point in time where digitalization not only changing the accounting profession, but it is redefining what the accounting profession is. Before I continue, if we look at some of the statistics, in our discussion, we will look at digitalization from three perspectives. One is from professional accountant point of view or individual perspective. Next is from organization perspective. And the last one is from management consultancy or professional practice. So starting with from first or professional accountant perspective, first of all, I would like to share with you, if we look at the job posting today, then 30% of the job listing require AI or digital technology skills. Now, starting from this, my first question is to Mr. Mahmood Ahmed Siddiqui. Sir, I would like to ask you that what institute is doing to ensure that its members remain technologically relevant.
Thank you very much for the relevant question. But first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the Institute of Cost and Management Accountant for inviting me here. And I would like to express my sincere congratulations for their 75 years of remarkable journey and for the contribution to the economy of Pakistan and their presence globally. The question you raised that how the members will be relevant in the technological era, something like that. So first of all,
from the institute level, we have some responsibility. What we have done over the years, before making a members, we are looking at the looking for the studentship. So we like to make our curriculum aligning with the technological changes, technological updates, and we have done it over the years. You know, the curriculum of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, if I'm talking about from that perspective, it is aligned with the latest curriculum, in line with international education standards, and also, I should say, in line with the ICW, Chartered Account in England and Wales. What actually accommodate the artificial intelligence, the blockchain issues, the cyber security, the data analytics, and the other important arenas which are relevant in the current context of the world. But at the same time, for the members, we are providing CPD, and after the COVID, actually we are arranging the CPD programs virtually mostly. And through this, actually we are educating our members how they are up to date with the virtual environment, use the technology, something like that. In terms of quality assurance, that means audit quality assurance, we actually provide the training on technological based audit environment. What we are doing, that we request them to submit the annual return online. So we have the information of the members, they're submitting their information of the firms, their audit clients, etc. to the institute. Based on that, we actually made the program of the quality assurance visit, and we review, we monitor. So these are the way actually we are communicating, integrating the members through a technological driven environment. In addition to that, we are accommodating, integrating the artificial intelligence in recent time. So I think in different ways, we are very much aligned with the students as well as members. But however, still we have to go far away. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to request the honorable participant to please focus on the front, because there is some noise. My next question is to Mr. Ishfaq Yusuf Tola. He is the former Minister of the State of Pakistan. Sir, what role do professionals play in digital policy formation?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. Thank you ICMAP for arranging this grand show, and grateful to all the participants, especially those from the region, that they came here especially on our invitation, and obviously they have enhanced the credibility of this conference. Coming back to your question, basically the name of the game is digitization. Recently we have seen that we have some improper, or I think underground economy, which needs to be strengthened, which need to be basically coming onto the mainstream economy. So to converge that economy into the mainstream economy, I think we need obviously the use of the technology and the digitization. First of all, I think it will give you a cost-effective solution. Cost effectiveness is very important, because the collection cost of Pakistan tax at one point in time was 0.58%. And I think it is gradually rising. Although we have got a very huge target in the last 5 years, we have almost set the target of more than 2.5 times than the previous one. Second one is you can have a better analytics about the demographics of your tax, how your tax can be divided, who are the main taxpayers. are they paying on a true taxation basis? So this is more important. Third time, and which is basically the important aspect, is the, I think, timeliness. Timeliness is also the name of the game. If you know before the time that you are near your target, nowhere near your target, or you are on target. So then you have to take additional measures. You can make some administrative steps, but all of these are obviously ring fenced with one and the only thing, that is tax reform. The tax reform needs to be digitized, needs to be enforced, and needs to be horizontal, within horizontal equity, to avoid taxation on one segment exorbitantly, and there shall be no taxation on the other. So all these data require analytics. This data analytics is the core of every system, every economic system. And digitization is the way forward for all of us. We have seen, I mean, we have got a comparable example, as I mentioned the other day as well, that we have our next door neighbor India. They are using AI, they are using all the technologies very extensively, and thrice they have revised their targets upward. And I recall when we started using PRAL in 1998, despite the fact that we have made some trouble economy during that 99, 2000 and 2001 era, we used to be on target. And thereafter, twice we revised the target upward. So at that time, we were far ahead than any other country in the world. And in fact, let me just inform this August House that Japan has borrowed our technology. But we lag behind because of the lack of human resource, because lack of technology, because lack of innovation. So what you need is simply focus on technology. Your PRAL is standstill now. It can't grow more unless you make heavy investment. Now, what you have to do, you have to reform and you have to outsource all the spheres, all the activities. You have to pursue this, throw away this outdated mechanism of return analysis and audit. You need to have an automated audit based on your AI tools, which we designed, we have provided in 2023, and I hope that it will be enforced very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering in very detail. My next question is to Mr. Zubaidul Hassan. Professional accountants, what can do to upgrade their skills in digital technologies? What they need to do, or how they can acquire digital technology skills?
Thank you, Wasi Saab. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before I begin taking the opportunity, being the panelist and being FCMA from Lahore region, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the National Council of ICMA Pakistan, especially Mr. President and Vice President of ICMA Pakistan, of arranging such meaningful and prestigious Safa International Future of Finance Summit 2026. For me, this is not just an event, it is reflecting a progressive vision of our profession. It is growing global recognition of Pakistan's finance and accounting profession, bringing together today as distinguished professionals, thought leaders, and policymakers at one platform. Truly commendable job performed by the National Council of Pakistan, ICMA Pakistan. Being FCMA from Lahore region, I'm feeling proud and witnessing our institutions is taking such impactful initiatives that promote knowledge sharing, innovation, and the future transformation of the finance profession. I once again congratulate to the National Councils and all secretariat staff for arranging this wonderful event. Now coming back to the core question what I've been asked, as we all know that accounting is most oldest profession in the world. And we learned at our study stages that accounting is a system of recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpretation the financial results to the entrepreneur and other stakeholders. But nowadays, and the person who perform all these tasks is called the accountant. The role of accountant mainly concerning with the recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpreting the results. But nowadays, technology is rewritten the role of the accountant. And this is being rewritten faster than ever. The role of accountant is now no more with respect to the recording or classifying. Historically, what we have learned and applied practically that we are mostly engaged in the preparation of historical data and reporting to the stakeholders. But what now, due to the technology, due to the digital transformation, cloud systems, AI emerging, the entrepreneurs are demanding from the accountants more than that. And what they are demanding, they are expecting why this is happening. More than that, they are expecting what will happen next. Now another role at C-suite level is being introduced by the technology, and that is CVO. What I understand, the CVO, Chief Value Officer. That is the most suitable to the role of CFO. The CFO advancement in the very next stage is CVO, that is beyond the historical data presentation and being the strategic advisor, being the strategic business partner for the growth of the business. So today, we accountants need to upgrade our skills. I would like to quote example. I belong to the industry, steel industry, where mechanical machines are installed. Mechanical machines were, in the history, were mostly machines or hydraulic system, based on the hydraulic system. With the technology advancement, CNC machines are introduced, and in all over the world now, in every industry, CNC machines are working. So mechanical engineers need to upgrade their skills, soft skills, align with the CNC, computer numeric calculations. Similarly, we accountant, I think we need to upgrade our skills. Not only we are well equipped with the international financial reporting standards, technical knowledge, but beyond this, we need to develop our soft skills related to data analysis, related to AI tools, dashboards, cloud systems, how effectively ERP work. So most of us, what happened in the market, in the practical life, most of us and most of the life, they work on one segment of their core area. Like a person is working on the payables, other is working on the receivables, someone is working on the budgeting, someone is dealing with the payrolls. But to be leaders in the financial market, we need to think beyond this. And definitely, to be a leader, to be a good leader, We need to enhance our presentation skills, communication skills, insight of business without proper presentation and communication is meaningless, cannot be understandable to the stakeholders. So proper decision cannot be taken. So I think if we want to be secure our future, we need to upgrade our communication skills, soft skills, technical skills, IT related skills, analytical skills, dashboards, and we need to be well equipped with the AI tools. And at last, I want to say that ICMA has already introduced a core subject, Gen AI in its curricula, and the professional bodies can do offer capacity building programs to their existing members to enhance their capacities and update their courses for upcoming future of the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zubaidul Hassan, for explaining in detail the different areas that a professional accountants need to master. My next question is to Mr. Mehtabuddin Ahmed, FCMA, Council Member and immediate past President, ICMAB. Sir, how can CFO leverage technology for the strategic advantage of an organization?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. The question is how CFO can take the benefit of technology, primarily. Now, as a CFO, I'm sure like everyone has the ambition of becoming a CFO or have the ability to serve CFO as a consultant. So this question applies, or the answer will be applying to everyone. First of all, the current CFOs, we have to put their brain into washing machine to have a complete cleanup and then come out of that to really address that problem. With our old mindset, with our traditional mindset, I don't think the future that digital and AI offers can be addressed. Number one, we have to unlearn what we have learned over the last few decades, then relearn. And if we cannot apply that basic concept, I don't think as an accountant we can survive in the coming days. And let me give you a few factual data so that you understand the danger we are in as a CFO and as a accounting professionals. Number one, I don't know how many of you know that most of the jobs are being lost to AI and digital tools. Number one is white collar job. In the past, whatever happened globally, whatever tools came in, whatever industrial revolution we talk about, it hurt the lower level employees, not the white collar employees. Already in the developed countries, the white collar people are losing job to AI, and accounting profession is one of them. Consultants, like all the big four you talk about, they will stop hiring accountants. They stop hiring entry-level people. So you can understand as a CFO, if those are aspiring to become CFO, they are having serious danger in hand. Similarly, if you think those who are data entry and all this kind of historical job, for that you don't need human being. We don't need accountants. Accountants or CFOs has to apply their judgment. They are being only area where CFOs and accountants can justify their position when you apply your best judgment. You have best understanding of the processes. You have the best understanding of the tools. You have to be AI expert, AI analyst. You have to be, look for new areas. So for example, we are talking about ESG, sustainability, blue economy, green economy, all these new areas we have to adventure in terms of reporting, in terms of measurement. So new areas are coming up and we have to be prepared to embark into that. So I can, another data I want to share with all of you so that you can understand what I'm saying. World Economic Forum 2025, they have clearly articulated there will be 170 million new job will be created. New job with new skill set.
At the same time, it is by 2030. At the same time, we'll be losing 92 million jobs with existing skill. And that 92 million jobs that will be going away with existing skill, accounting profession falls under that, unfortunately. So if we don't really start reshaping ourselves as a professionals, then we have a big problem in hand. And you should do it not for yourself, but also for the team which follows you or which works for you. Last but not the least, my humble request, please take particularly AI, there are many digital tools, take it very, very seriously. If you don't take it very seriously, they will take care of you. And always remember the way internet and electricity has become an essential tool for us. Similarly, AI is going to be essential tool for us. The question is, are you being forced to take it, adapt it, or you proactively adapt it and they get maximum benefit out of it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mehtabuddin rightfully highlighted the importance for the learning of AI. We must remember the case of Nokia. The Nokia did not embrace the technology. So is the case with professional accountant. That will going to happen if we don't embrace the technology. My next question is to Mr. Esanga. Sir, I apologize in advance if I did not pronounce your name correctly. Harvard Business Review research say that the technology change initiative, there is only 30% chances of success that what the goals are set at the start of technological change initiative that were achieved. If we look at the research of McKinsey, one of the leading management consultancy firm, as per their research, only 26% of the technological change initiative or transformations are successfully, or we can say that they achieve their goals. Keeping in view your expertise and experience in ERP systems, what do you think that what are the key success factors for implementation, or how we can make this technological transformation successful in any organization?
Thank you. Greetings from Colombo, Sri Lanka. At the outset, let me congratulate ICMA International for celebrating their Diamond Jubilee. And thank you, ICMA International, for having us here. Now, coming back to your question, ERP implementation. Now, in my view, now, success of ERP implementation for mainly based on not only the IT environment, but also based on the business readiness. Now, one must think that ERP implementation is just an IT project, but it's not the case. It is enterprise-wide transformative initiative. So there are many success factors that we have to consider. First, there should be a strong leadership sponsorship for the ERP implementation because it's an enterprise-wide initiative. So there should be a top leadership blessing. The second, data quality. We all know garbage in, garbage out. So there should be clear master data, process approval hierarchies, and superb chart of account. Then third, there should be a process realignment. Organization must understand the business processes before configure the system. They should understand and clearly define those are our processes before configure the ERP system. Then fourth, change management. Now, everyone keen to learn how to use the ERP system, but one should understand why it is important, why the new way of doing things matter. And finally, control, governance and control. At the outset, we have to build super controls, proper controls at the design level. Then only we can successfully implement the ERP system. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting the importance of leadership role for the success of any digitalization transformation initiative. Next, I move to Mr. Tariq Subhani. He worked as the capacity of Chairman, Punjab Land Record Authority. Under his leadership, Punjab Land Authority did digital land management system digitalization. Please, will you share your success story?
Thank you so much. First of all, Assalamu alaikum to everyone and ICMA. I'm very glad you have invited me. And as I just said that I've been appointed as the chairman, PELRA, Punjab Land Record Authority. And I just wanted to let you know how important digitalization is. Because few years back, 20 years back, when we started to do the digitalization of Punjab Land Record, and I'm proudly say that almost 100% we have completed our Punjab Land Record system into digitalization. So I think that will give access to everyone on their fingertips if they want to see their land, if it's available or not. Usually when they go to the Patwari or anyone and they found out that their land has gone to someone else's name. So Alhamdulillah, we have safe and secure, we have done that, and it's on their fingertips. Due to the digitalization, even overseas Pakistani, they can see that things on their agricultural land by sitting overseas on their phone or fingertips, just by adding their ID card number, or if they need any assistance, we have provided them in the overseas embassies, so they can go there and get their information. I think we have done tremendous jobs, make Punjab people to have their access all the times on their land, okay, and minimize to fraud, those people who do the fraud with them. And these things, I think it minimize and make their land safe and secure and efficient to everyone. So I think we have done great job. So either way, Punjab government has done tremendous jobs in other departments as well. As I said, that safe city cameras, by adding that, Punjab government's crime ratio has dropped to almost 10%. Before it was almost 40%, 35%. So I think that is also related to digitalization. If you go to the Nadra, so Nadra has helped them to reduce the crime because but the biometric, it will identify them very quickly who has done that job. So they cannot make any fraudulent activities. So I think digitalization in now or on the future, it's very important, or it's make even for the business, for every household, you can say that, or every household's life, digitalization make easier for them, for the competitions. If you want to apply for a jobs, people, our kids, our new generations, they have on their fingertips, they can search on everything. AI also there to help them out. So I think these things will move forward. To help people of Punjab or Pakistan or all over the world, whoever using the digitalization, if they are not doing it in the backwards, I think they are staying behind. All the opportunities is available on digitalization. So I think I have made my point clear.
Thank you very much. My next question is to Mr. Ashfaqullah Sahab, FCA. Sir, will this digital transformation will open new doors for management consultancy and for our practice as well? What do you think?
Very important question. Obviously, my belief is that perceive an opportunity from adversity. I think I started learning computers. I think none of you might have started in that era. It was in 1987. When I was a junior in Ferguson and I was at the job of Philips. There was a bootable drive, alt control delete. that we used to type DOS and that we used to enter into the system of Symphony or WordStar. So I know the technology from that era. And obviously, I'm not keeping up the pace of that technology. And I know with an inning of my life, which is setting, not arising, I know for sure, I know the enough which I need to survive myself at this age. But to me, this is not enough. Your AI, your robotics, your data analytics, for practitioners, for a common man even, for tax experts, for consultants, it is really required, for accountants even, it is really required, they need to update their knowledge. And I am happy that our regional institutes are cognizant of it. They are regularly changing their syllabi to accommodate all the new innovations in the technology. And believe you me, that will pay fruit. When Asad can bear with me, if Asad or my council member of ICAP is still sitting here, that we were the only institute, ICAP was the only institute in the world. Yes, he is here. And we have started a paper on sustainability. Even my own council member, they used to criticize me that why you are doing it. If nobody, are you that champion that England and Wales and nobody is adopting it, nobody is even think of it. Why you are doing it? So I said, look, please 10 years ahead, don't keep up the pace, be ahead of the pace. And now, when there was a comparison of the syllabus between ourselves and England and Wales, they offered us one thing. They said, look, have a combined paper, and then we can give qualification to your students. We said no. Let our students qualify our paper, and then you can take one paper, and then you can extend qualification of England with. When they were comparing the benchmark, they said you are ahead of us. So it was really a feel of honor for all of us, the entire council, that yes, we mean business. So same is true with the technology. If you will not keep up the pace, and if you will not try to go ahead, you will miss the bus. And then obviously you will regret. We all know then 39% of the accountant's job will go away because of AI. But there is still 61%. So I don't look at 39%. Half empty or half full. This is your perception. And if you perceive an opportunity from what is you construing this as an adversity, I think you will be ahead of everyone. People are preferring experiences over education now while giving jobs. And I'm talking to you about multinational or huge tech giants. Why? That's because of the fact that they want experienced people who know the technology. They want them to enroll. So I think we need not to be worried about. We should encourage ourselves that yes, we can learn. We have learned so many disciplines. Now we can learn this and we can afloat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You have shared a very alarming statistics that 39% of the jobs of professional accountants will be wiped out if we don't embrace this technological innovation. My next question is to Mr. Mehboob Adam Siddiqui, FCA. Sir, what challenges arise while implementing international quality standards digitally? What challenges we face if we have to implement international standards digitally or online? what challenges arise in implementing international standards digitally?
Okay, basically, uh, the international standards and the technology, the pace of both thing is different. International standards takes time, 3 years, 4 years time, and even implementation is after finalization of the standards, they provide 3 years time to implement. But technology is overnight changing every time. So as the pace is different, it is a little bit difficult because technology is more ahead of the changes of the standards. This is one thing. Another thing is the readiness of the profession. Maybe you heard about the XBRL system.
Yes.
So our preparedness from the management end are not actually well equipped, especially in the South Asia region, I should say. Even in the advanced part of the world, they are facing the problem applying the technological based standard application. This is one thing. And from the auditor's point of view, as because of different sort of malpractice from the owners, from the management, it is very difficult for the auditors to apply the proper technology to identify the frauds and error. Even it is not their primary responsibility, but however, it is not that much easy. And what I would like to add that it is not a matter of artificial intelligence, it is a matter of the readiness of the professionals, whether they can cope up with the artificial intelligence, whether they can mastering the artificial intelligence. Because now there is a common phenomenon of ethics. When you ask for anything using the artificial intelligence, you may not get the right answer. If you cannot mastering the artificial intelligence, and there are some misinformation, so always it is pretty difficult to cope up with the technological challenges by the professionals. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, you have rightly identified the importance of XBRL, Extensible Business Reporting Language, that is machine readable, and this is the next reporting format of our financial reports. Then you also highlighted the importance of learning AI, that we should learn it so that we remain competitive in our profession. My next question is to Mr. Asanga. How an organization can redesign his processes with digital efficiency? Redesign of process for digital efficiency. How an organization can achieve this?
And to whom you have made the question?
To Mr. Asanga. Sir, yeah.
Okay, so it's all about digital efficiency. Now, in my view, we must first understand digital efficiency is not automating the existing manual work. Now, we have a kind of misconception. Digital efficiency means automating whatever the existing processes. That's not the case. First, we must understand our repetitive works. There may be unnecessary approval hierarchies, unnecessary approval processes, lengthy manual reconciliations. So first, we must understand those and eliminate. That is simplification. So first step of digital efficiency is simplification. We must have simple processes. That is the cornerstone of digital efficiency. The second, the processes. The processes should be realigned with the end-to-end process. That means now starting point to completion point, we have to have a clear visibility. Then only we can have the digital efficiency. The second point means standardization. So first one, simplification. Second one, standardization. Then third point, digital efficiency should free our financial professionals, management accountant from repetitive work. Then they can focus that time more in business partnering, value creation, and decision support. So first step, uh, simplification. Second step, standardization. Third step, we have to automate processes wisely. So those are the, in my view, 3 steps that we require to have a digital efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you. I would request the panelists to please keep your response brief. My next question is to Mr. Zubaidul Hassan, FCMA. What impact ERP automation had on accuracy and efficiency?
Thank you. What impact automation has on accuracy and efficiency? Definitely, accuracy, we have already learned in our courses that different types of errors, error of commission, error of omissions, error of transpositions, costing errors like that. When we perform the manual work on the books, ledgers, even in the Excel sheets, such type of errors, in Excel, we oftenly found that while copy pasting, we make errors and the Excel sheets results compromise. But with the automation databases, these shortcomings have overcome. The only thing is, at any step when humans perform data punching or cross-checking at second level cross-checking, there are still chances when human performs, they punch the wrong data in the system. This is the still a critical point. Like humans can make errors, and the slogan is called the garbage in, garbage out. So no doubt through automation, we are able, the current era is able to overcome most of the errors and achieve the transparency and efficiency too. We are readily now witnessing that the reconciliations are readily available on the real time, and the data is also available on the real time, continuously flowing. Data is no longer problem. The issue is now how and when we use the data rightly for decision making. So with the automation, with the databases, secure data is moved, secure data is processed, transmitted, reports are accurate, but with certain controls by introducing user levels, by introducing segregation of user rights. This is the most important. If we want to achieve the transparency, this is the most important thing. We need to introduce controls also, and the C-suite level people, leaders, should know about the importance of these controls. Then this is possible, then transparency could be maintained. And similarly, from efficiency point of view, negligence should be ignored. No doubt with the automation, we have achieved a lot of efficiency and transparency, but still we need to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Mehtabuddin Ahmed. Sir, you have led major telecom transformations. Even you did successfully Ruby Airtel merger as well. What do you think regarding how digitalization reshaped financial strategy?
The question is about the merger or the reshaping the financial strategy?
Regarding digitalization, how digitalization reshaped financial strategy?
Okay. Look, the fundamental point is the way we are currently doing our practices is like rear view mirror. Looking at the rear view mirror, we manage our uh, when we work on the reporting, it's historical data. When we do any analysis, it's all historical data. So that's what we say. The current practice of accounting is based on rear view mirror. But we have to shift our mindset is to control tower. When we say control tower, here we have to think about we have to manage data. The future strategy of finance has to be shifting from rear view to control tower, where we should focus on first is data. Whatever digital tool we use, whatever AI we use, if data accuracy is not there, any analysis, any dashboard that we look at will not reflect the right view. Second one is the sentiment. The AI has a sentiment and emotion which is governed by your prompt. So if you don't do it well, then we have a risk. Third one I would like to say is 71% of developed countries have started using AI, but 95% of them is failing to attract benefit out of it. So yes, we are shifting the strategy, reshaping the strategy, but if we don't do it right, we are going to have a problem. We are going to have a problem of wasting our energy, wasting our resources, and putting all the effort, not getting the benefit. And there are certain basic rules that we have to follow. One is, I think one question was asked earlier, this is about how to start. You should not start all across the organization. Pick the top process, the most complicated process, or take one or two processes, which is Pareto rule. Do it correctly, then you scale it up. But don't try to apply that digital tool all across the organization in one go. The second biggest mistake is we don't give importance to the people. People has to be the center of any transformation that we drive or reshaping that we would like to do. So the first, what we try to hide things from people, we try to target 40% reduction of people and all this stuff. Never ever hide things from people. If you don't take people seriously, don't give the comfort, that project will never work out. That is one of the reasons why most of the 71% of the companies I said fail, because of not taking people so confidently. So no miscommunication will be allowed. That is a fundamental point. So if we apply some of these basic tricks, we can actually shift from rear view approach to the control tower approach. And the other thing I think we have to keep that in mind, that in terms of our profession, as I said at the earlier response, we are at risk. And this risk can be reversed or averted only if we carry the new hat, and that is AI hat. Sooner we adapt it, better we can contribute. Later you adapt it, you will be as good as rest of the others. And I can finish with one example that I can share with you. After launching 4G in 2018 in Bangladesh, I thought of next is coming 5G. Why don't I learn how to go for 5G, or whether it has got any merit in it? We visited China, and they have a 3-tier city, and I covered all the 3 tiers. And you'll be surprised that 2018, each and every city was prepared for 5G. They already launched 5G. Government incentivized them to launch 5G. And I asked them, why you are doing it? It's not tested. It's not going to give you any benefit. They said, we are not launching 5G to make it effective in terms of profitability. We are launching 5G because globally we want to be #1 in terms of 5G use cases, which is they are referring to AI. So just think about it. The vision is extremely important. And CFO, finance community has to enable this nation to give that vision. If we can give that vision, I think we can, as a professional accountants, we can transform our nations. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your valuable insight. My next question is to Mr. Mahmood Ahmed Siddiqui. Sir, what is the future of audit in a data-driven world? How do you see it? Please keep the answer brief.
Okay. Thank you. This is a very pertinent question, the future of audit profession in a technological era. It will be very much depending on the technology. The question itself has the answer. The important thing is there will be a lot of changes in the audit methodology. So we are based on now materiality, risk analysis, then audit sampling to reduce the audit activities. That means to save the time and the quality. But in coming days, because of artificial intelligence, it will be maybe 100% data driven and 100% check and verification of every data. So this will be actually helping the quality of audit, because now we are depending on the sampling, and based on sampling, when we are giving the opinion, we say the reasonable assurance. That means we cannot provide the absolute assurance. But when the technologies support us, actually we can make comment on the whole database of the entity. Not only that, even the report, everything will be driven by the technology. But the challenge is ethics, because when we apply technology, and as I said, if we cannot mastering the technology, then it may be derailed, or the quality may be totally different if there are lack of technological skill of us. That is why if we can update our skill with the update of the technology, then the future audit will be better, more reliable, and definitely it will be result oriented, what actually we are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you for highlighting that the methodology will change in the future audit. With the involvement of AI, the quality of audit will improve. Yes, but if we don't embrace the technology, or the auditor don't embrace the technology, then there will be challenges as well. Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Ishfaq Yusuf Tola. Sir, how digital tax systems improve the transparency and revenue collection of any country?
I think this is more or less the same question which I replied earlier, but let me just repeat or retake this. Because of informal economy in the region, I mean, AI and the use of technology is very pertinent. I can give you an example of a small data analysis which I have done as a Minister of State. Your 95% of the direct tax is coming from only 3.5% of taxpayers. The giant, the multinational, the large importers, they are contributing. And rest 5% is coming from 97.5%. Meaning that you are opening multiple doors to erode your tax base. Those 5%, those 95% taxes are coming from a meager amount of 2.5%, meaning that when they are giving advances just to fill up the budget and just to accomplish them, their targets, they are do away with so many things. Maybe audit notices, maybe so many. Kamar Zaman is sitting here and he can tell you in a much better way. While rest of 97.5%, they are getting their things done through other mechanisms. So had it been a digitization, had it been a risk-based audit, AI-based audit, I don't think they can escape. So in my humble view, AI, data analytics, and every tool of IT And as I mentioned you earlier, by using the IT, our Indian counterpart has revised their budget upward, whereas every year we are revising it downward. We accept the target from IMF, then we go back, we say, okay, we cannot do it. So AI is one of the most significant part, it can play a most significant part in basically transparency and in increasing the revenue base as well, to identify the new taxpayers and obviously to bring them into the net. I think we have made some IT-based return, which was self-audit basis. We have made this GD, which is self-audit basis. But anyways, in this country, especially in this region, it is very difficult to impose and to obviously follow some good suits. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to add something regarding cybersecurity challenges with respect to digitalization?
We need a national certification for that. I mean, it's not easy it's a buzzword, cybersecurity. What cybersecurity? Obviously, when it comes to cybersecurity, we say, okay, install Norton, install McAfee. This is not cybersecurity. We have firewalls, and you can often hear and you can see that there is a breach of firewall. What is cybersecurity? So there needs to be a national certification on that. And I think Ministry of IT is working on that. And we all need to understand that as a professional, it is the cornerstone of our profession. And if we will not keep ourselves posted on that, we'll lag behind. So this is something, I mean, it's a detailed subject. If you want, we can have a lecture on this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My next question is to Mr. Mehtabuddin Ahmed. What are the biggest risks in digital transformation initiatives? Biggest risks?
Okay, in transformation, the biggest risk in the new digital environment, I will emphasize on AI once again. First of all, I think all of us have to remember, artificial intelligence will only work when we have the natural intelligence. If you try to use any tool without the natural intelligence, artificial intelligence will not work. I think that is the fundamental principle. We have to keep that in mind. You have to have very good knowledge of the process and systems. Your business, only then you can get the best output from your tool. Number one risk, I think the data risk, as I said, highlighted earlier, data risk is the biggest risk. Garbage in, garbage out. So primary risk factor is data. Number two risk factor, I think what the other question you asked, Mr. Ashfaq Tola, is the cybersecurity risk. I think that risk is one of the highest. I don't know how many of you know Claude Mythos. That's one of the new version they've developed, and they're scared to market it simply because it can hack any system, even Pentagon system they can hack. It is so powerful. Now, as an accountant, if you are not upgrading our knowledge on cybersecurity to that level, we'll always remain vulnerable. Our organizations where we work will remain vulnerable. The third risk I would say is in terms of that is the ethical practices. When you have the machine will have so much of power, if we don't ensure there is ethical practices, we will be at risk despite using all these sophisticated tools. And I can keep going on this one. The other thing is fairness. You may know that a lot of elections, like in US and many other countries, even India, they use AI to bias you. Like if you go to any social media, you see what you want to see. They don't show you what you don't want to see, right? So that's why we make the people biased towards certain subject. So that is another risk. We are actually getting trapped into our own mind because of the system understand my behavior, my behavioral pattern. So these are the very high level risk. If you don't understand, if you don't address, whatever tool we use, end of the day, we will not be able to pass on the benefit to ourselves and as to the organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My next question is to Mr. Asanga, Council Member, CMS Sri Lanka. Sir, my question is, how can internal controls evolve with automation? How can internal controls evolve with automation?
So, with the digitization and automation, one must think now internal control should not be there. That is wrong. In that, with the digitization or with the automation, this internal control should not be weakened. Should not be weakened. That's the first principle that we have to keep in our mind. So, through our process, now if you look at the 50 years ago, the internal controls more in paperwork. You all the approval hierarchies, the circulars, processes, policies, all paperwork. But with the time, they evolve through the digitization. Now we can see the workflow approval through the ERP system. Then process realignment. Everything now digitized. But we should keep in our mind the internal control should be built at the outset of the any automation process. That's the key principle that we have to keep in our mind.
Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Tariq Subhani, Chairman, Punjab Land Record Authority. Sir, what role can institutions and regulatory bodies play in strengthening cross-border cooperation, ease of doing business, and investor trust within the Safa region?
I think, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I think software build engineering, it depends on your interest, how do you want, and in which department you are interested into it. So I think what you call that, it depends on you how you want to perform your functions in department. Okay, so I think digitalization helps to provide minimize crimes, minimize efficiency. So I think this is about it now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question is to Mr. Esanga again. Mr. Esanga. What risk arises in financial investigations in digital environment?
So before I answer your question, let me tell you what happened in Sri Lanka during the last 6 months. During the last 6 months, there are 3 massive fraud has been reported. First one, 2.5 million USD dollar gone missing from our general treasury. The second one, the massive bank fraud reported in our leading bank, NDP, the fraud value in Sri Lankan rupees, 13 billion. 13 billion. The third one, during the last 6 months, has reported $600 gone missing from our Sri Lankan post. All 3 incidents happened in a digitally enabled environment. So, at this context, there are many risks. So, in my view, those risks are: first one, insider abuse; second one, poor access control; third one, fragmented digitally evidence. We can't find out digital evidence. Now, if you look at our system, ERP system, payment system, billing system, transaction evidence can sit anywhere. So we must look at to preserving this evidence in a proper hand. Otherwise, we can now, if something has happened, it is very difficult for us to get back those digital evidence. Now that 3 incidents I have mentioned, now it's very difficult for us to get the evidence to find out the culprit. So the risks are Digital risks are, in my view, insider abuse, poor access control, and fragmented digital evidence.
Thank you. This was the last question. I would like to request the ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to our honorable panelists for sharing their valuable thoughts. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your insightful sharings regarding data and skills. I read somewhere that AI will not replace you, but you will be replaced by that person who has learned AI. So learn AI and update your skills. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for souvenir distribution ceremony, and I would like to Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, President Safa, to be on stage to distribute souvenir. Along with, I would like to invite Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Abdul Qayyum, Treasurer, Mr. Amir Ijaz, Executive Director, and Mr. Khurram Shahzad, Advisor to Finance Minister, to be on stage to distribute souvenirs to our esteemed panelists.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Khurram Shahzad. First of all, we have Mr. Mehtabuddin Ahmad, FCMA, to receive his shield as a token of appreciation. Next, we have Mr. Ashfaq Yusuf Tola, FCA, FCMA. Next, we have Mr. Mehboob Ahmad Siddiqui, FCA. Next, we have Mr. Asanga I. Vimalarate, Council Member, CMA, Sri Lanka. Next, we have Mr. Asanga I. Vimalarate. Along with them, we have Mr. Zubaidul Hassan, FCMA. Next, we have Session Chairman Chaudhry Tariq Subhani. Along with them, we have moderator Mr. Ali Asjad Rizvi. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for all of our panelists.
Thank you so much. Now you all have take your seats. I would like to request Mr. Khurram Shahzad, Advisor to Finance Minister, to be on stage to share his valuable, insightful comments for our 2-hour distinguished gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Khurram Shahzad, Advisor to Finance Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Ji. Okay. Shfaq Saab. Excuse me. Can I have a pen, please? Pen. Well, normally for government people or for politicians in particular, although I'm not a politician, I'm from the private sector, but there's a standard saying for government people that when they start speaking, they just keep on speaking and keep on talking. But I promise with you all that I'll keep it as brief as possible, no matter how long it takes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui Saab, President ICM International. Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, President Safa. Distinguished Presidents, Representatives ICMA, Safa members bodies. Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMA and Chairman Organizing Committee. Mr. Praveen Jha, Vice President Safa. Mr. Ishfaq Tola. Esteemed delegates from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and across Asia Pacific and South Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon today. It's a privilege and honor to address this distinguished gathering at the Safa International Summit 2026 here in the historic city of Lahore. I hope you've been enjoying Lahore, its vibrancy and its history. I congratulate ICMA International on organizing this important summit and especially on completing 75 years of valuable service to the accounting profession. This is an important milestone of professionalism, resilience, contribution, and services to the economic development. I also appreciate Safa for bringing together professionals, regulators, policymakers, and business leaders from across the region to discuss issues that are shaping the future of finance, governance, sustainability, and trust. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, we are living in a rapidly changing world. Technology, climate changes, shifting the economic realities, and changing public expectations are transforming economies and financial systems everywhere. In this environment, the role of financial professionals has become more important than ever. Accountants today are not only custodians of accounting professional or financial information, but they're partners in governance, transparency, sustainability, digital transformation, and institutional trust. This is the most important point. This requires new skills, modern thinking, and stronger cooperation across the region. Institutions like ICM International and Safa have an important role in preparing professionals for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan, like many emerging economies, has faced significant economic challenges, as we all know, and especially in the recent past, which includes global inflation, supply chain disruption, high commodity prices, and most of all, climate-related shocks and external financing constraints, which have created serious pressures for the country. Despite these challenges, we all know Pakistan economy has shown resilience, gradual stabilization. And under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and the Finance Minister of Pakistan, the government is pursuing structural and fiscal reforms to restore macroeconomic stability, strengthen investor confidence, improve fiscal discipline, and enhance economic governance. In this regard, as Government of Pakistan, our key reform priorities are broadening the tax base and improving tax administration as one top priority. Then enhancing public financial management, encouraging export-led growth, accelerating digitalization of the economy, promoting financial inclusion, and then supporting SMEs and entrepreneurship. Strengthening fiscal transparency and accountability, attracting foreign direct investment, and advancing climate resilient economic policies. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to show you how we are preparing for the future as Government of Pakistan. I have brought for you a very brief to the point presentation which will tell you how Government of Pakistan, particularly the Ministry of Finance, has been managing the reform agenda, that's our homegrown reform agenda, and how we are actually trying to create sustainable future growth for Pakistan. So if you kindly focus on the presentation, which I'm going to share with you here, including the latest development on the macro side. So you'll see how we are actually progressing, where we have come from in the last 2 years, and where we are headed to actually. There you go. So this is first slide, which will actually tell you, in a very brief way, what actually has we achieved so far in terms of macroeconomic stability. So if I go by, portion by portion, if you look at the first point, it tells you how actually real economy has actually picked up. If you look at the real economic growth, Pakistan has recorded 3.8% real GDP growth compared to last first half, which was 2.5%. So ladies and gentlemen, we are actually growing much better on a year-on-year basis, and the recovery is broad-based as well. If you look at the numbers of recent 9 months, Pakistan's large-scale manufacturing has grown up by 6.5%, and it has happened after many years. And the recovery is broad-based, basically. If you look at the details, the recovery is through industrial and construction sectors, which are the backbone of any large-scale manufacturing in any country. Secondly, the Government of Pakistan plus the State Government of Pakistan forecast GDP growth of around 3.75% to 4.75%. And this is going to be after many years. And please keep one point in mind, that we have a war going on next door, which again, Pakistan has played key role globally to save not only the country's economy, but the global economy as well. If you look at the right side of the slide, this will tell you how each sector is doing in terms of demand recovery. For example, if you look at the construction sector, you can take a hint from cement sector dispatches, how it has grown in the latest 9 months. It's up 10% on Y-on-Y basis. Similar is fertilizer, then petroleum, automobile sector, mobile phones. All have been growing positively compared to last year. Then if we come to fiscal consolidation, if you look at first point, this has happened first time in Pakistan's history that the country has recorded fiscal surplus. I mean, this has been never heard of in Pakistan's case, that we have always been on the higher side in terms of expenditures rather than collecting taxes. But we have actually restrained expenditures and enhanced our tax, tax net to an extent that we are now in fiscal surplus, not in fiscal deficits anymore. Secondly, the primary surplus is also at historic levels. Third is FBR tax to GDP. That's over 10.3%. And this is 20 years high. Our tax to GDP has been lingering below 10% for the longest time. Now we are over 10%, and of course the region is at much higher level, but still we are catching up. The third point is early debt payoff. It has never happened earlier that we actually paid off our debt before time. It has never happened in Pakistan. By the way, I have to speak in a little bit in Urdu also, because the media is here, and our media folks actually tell me that I have to speak some portion in Urdu, so it reaches out to the audience, the larger audience as well. So I'll speak whenever it's needed, but now I'm continuing in English. Well, CPI inflation is around 6%. It's one of the lowest in the region. And policy rates, our policy rate, our interest rate has come down from 22% to 11.5%. So it's half, giving a lot of room for private sector investors to come and raise money and, invest in Pakistan. The third one is external account resilience. This is all the more important because Pakistan went to the IMF because of this particular issue. We went ahead with consumption-led growth. We, raised debt, and through loans and debt, we always funded our growth. But this time around, we have 3.8% growth, but we are in fiscal surplus. Not only fiscal surplus, but current account surplus as well in the 9 months. So what I'm trying to say is basically we are not raising much debt. We are consolidating our fiscal account. We are consolidating our current account, but still we are having good enough growth for the country to start with. Then we are back into global markets. We just raised $750 million Eurobond from the global markets at very competitive pricing. Now the next is Panda bond. We are going to raise Panda bond from Chinese market, which is the deepest, second deepest, and the largest global markets in the world, public market. Then we have got good number of investors adding in to the equity base of capital markets, and our capital market has been, one of the best performing in the world in the last year as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the structural reforms which will ensure that our growth is sustainable and, our exports are sustainable, and our investors who come into Pakistan to invest in this country look at these transformational structural reforms so that they get, confidence in the country and its dynamics and invest here in this country. So, the growth continues, the growth becomes sustainable because of these reforms. I'll go one by one quickly so you'll have an idea what we are doing right now in order to make this growth, which we have achieved so far, become sustainable. Starting with tax reforms. We are starting with people, process, and technology. These are fundamental, principles we have put our tax authority on so that our digital transformation and faceless, initiative becomes truly sustainable and becomes very, supportive of investors. So our plan is to go through people, process, and technology to get to this level. And the recent achievements you can see here that we have achieved 26% tax growth in 2025. Our annualized impact of such transformation is undergoing basically right now, but at the moment the impact is around 32%, 32 billion rupees. We have recovered from sugar, cement, and similar sectors who were not in the net earlier, but we have made it, we have assured it that all the sectors come into the net, and our faceless system works, at global standards. So our FBR, the tax authority, becomes rather supportive than being punitive and being very hard on investors. Then we have added 34,000 taxpayers under digital invoicing, and our GD is boosted by 20% within Karachi only. So this is the FBR transformation which is undergoing right now. Digital interventions, governance, structural changes are underway through people, process, technology. Then, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically digital Pakistan reforms. And under this digital transformation reform, there are 3 pillars. One is digital payment adoption, which is headed by the Governor State Bank. Then there is digital public infrastructure, which is headed by the IT Minister. The third is digital payments, headed by the Finance Secretary. So these 3 pillars are making sure that Pakistan's payment system becomes truly digital, from government's payments to retail and individual payments, and then vendor onboarding as well. All these 3 pillars are actually making progress, which I'm going to share with you, and it's mentioned on the second slide. These were basically the targets that how many active merchants we were supposed to achieve. By 2025 December, the target was 1 million. As we speak today, as of March, we have already went past 1.13 million. So almost all of these targets, if you look at digital banking users, our target was 105 million banking users, banking wallets. We are already ahead of our targets at 130 million. So the digital transformation journey that the government of Pakistan is actually pursuing under the supervision of the Prime Minister and the leadership under the Finance Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tariff policy reforms. If you recall, the mid to late 90s, where this East Asia movement happened, and Turkeys and Vietnams of the world, they actually opened up their economy, opening up trade barriers, and they become truly export-led growth countries. So we are doing the same thing with Pakistan. We started this journey last year by reducing custom duties, additional custom duties, and regulatory duties on the import side. So our raw material for export sector becomes truly cheap. So they'll have sourcing from the world or from Pakistan so that they can, become truly competitive in a global economy, a changing global economy. So these are the actually reforms under the tariff policy, which we are already implementing. And this is a 5-year program, a staggered, a phase-wise reduction in duties. Then the energy sector reforms, 4 key pillars: consumer relief, tariff rationalization already underway, market and structural reforms, becoming multi-buyer market, restructuring our regulators, professional boards being appointed, then fiscal stabilization. We are reducing circular debt. We are passing on the impact on those who can bear and supporting the vulnerable sector. Similarly, we are improving our distribution companies' efficiencies as well. So this is the energy sector reforms which we are underway. Then we have right sizing. This is, ladies and gentlemen, from the federal government's perspective. Federal government, has a huge bill by running these 43 ministries under its umbrella and 400 plus departments. We are reducing them. We are cutting them down. We are devolving them to the provinces. So what I'm sharing with you is basically the progress, not the entire plan. So progress is, as of September 30th, last year, 54,000 vacant posts already abolished. The impact is 56 billion rupees already done. Public sector work departments closed, utility store closed, PASCO is winding up. Ministries and divisions merged. These are the ministries who have been already merged. There are 77 SOEs, which have been added to either privatization or right sizing. So cutting down the federal footprint on the economy so that, the efficiency comes from the center and then, it goes down into the provinces. Then the privatization. This is the most happening area in Pakistan right now. You must have heard about PIA, the national flag carrier, who we have been trying for the last 4 decades to privatize. We could not do it, but we did it last year, 4 or 5 months back. It actually attracted huge interest from the local groups. And there was a bid of $1.23 billion, and one big local group bought it 100%. So secondly, we have got First Women Bank privatized after 31 years. PIA done. Discos are coming in this month. Airports, Islamabad airports to start with. Then Zari Tarakkiyati Bank and house building finance are going on the floor. Work initiated on PESCO, other discos, RNG plants, Park Reinsurance, Roosevelt Hotel, and a lot more in the pipeline to be privatized, to go into private hands. Then, ladies and gentlemen, this is SOE reforms, where there are 77 SOEs, state-owned entities, which come under the federal government, which are going to be either privatized or restructured for the betterment of, common Pakistani, for better services. We have actually initiated 2023 policy. There's a central monetary unit, the complete MIS of each entity, what they are doing, how they are actually being complied with international accounting standards and the information and all that. 24 SOEs have already been, identified for privatization. Then the debt reform. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest expense on my book. On government's book, this is the biggest expense. This eats into my entire budget, most of the time. So what we are doing is basically, we are, rescheduling debts. having longer maturity, paying off expensive debt, and replacing it with cheaper debt, thereby improving our debt servicing cost. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in 2026, we are going to save a lot more money than in 2025, not because of the decline in interest rates, because there's no decline in interest rates in this year, but still we are saving huge money this time around because of our active debt management. We are going to raise Panda bond this month. Inshallah, you will see a very good news on that side as well at a very good price in Chinese market. This is going to be the first time we are going to do this in the Chinese market. We went back to the global markets, private markets, capital markets with this 750 million euro bond recently. It was raised at a very good price. And the most important thing was investor coming back to Pakistan, which was not the case 4 years back. Then these are pension reforms. This is another big bill on my fiscals. What we have done is basically we actually converted the pension scheme into contribution scheme. And already there are 24,000 new hires who are on this scheme, and it's in implementation since July 2024. The impact is going to be 13% more saving in the next 10 years because of this basic change. Then, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important slide as far as digital economy is concerned. You heard about blockchain, you heard about crypto, you heard about Web 3.0, and we've discussed on this platform as well how we are going to compete with AI and everything. So this is very important slide. You all know very well that Pakistan is at number 3 or 4 in terms of blockchain adoption, in terms of crypto adoption. 40 million Pakistanis are currently trading on cryptos or using blockchain or using Web 3.0. So what we are doing is basically our sovereign response is we have created Virtual Assets Act 2026. We are one of those first countries who are actually adopting this technology, this new economy first on a global map. And then SDP has enabled banking access. Sandbox is already live. Our licensing is already up and running for global virtual asset services providers to come in and invest in Pakistan in terms of crypto mining, in terms of blockchain development, in terms of exchange development and all that. Then, ladies and gentlemen, these are actually basic access to finance, to agriculture, to EVs, to basic fan replacements, and to mortgage finance. To those who actually deserve the middle and the lower level economy, where if you look at digital financing, we are targeting 750,000 new borrowers, and the target credit expansion is 300 billion for small farmers without collateral. So this is one program. The second one is affordable housing. Affordable housing up to 10 million, you can go and take loan without collateral only through ID card, and you will get your housing finance subsidized by the government of Pakistan through the banking sector. Third is green mobility. This is basically two-wheelers and three-wheelers, EVs, which are being supported by the government of Pakistan so that our climate challenges can be pacified, can be mitigated to an extent by this initiative. Then there's energy efficiency financing. 88 million fans, household fans, are going to be replaced with solar fans. This is going to create an impact on the climate as well. Then we have just raised a skill bond, which will actually upskill our young generation through technical skills, through the present day skills, so that they can become more competitive in the global economy. Then, these are basically the bottom lines, what we have done so far and how the latest developments have turned out in terms of the positive impacts on Pakistan. If you see first tab, it shows how we actually managed to handle this crisis and saved the world. You see the impact of the global economy of this war for the first round has been $3.5 trillion. And Pakistan, by intervening into this crisis and having a ceasefire done, has actually saved the world $3.5 trillion. Then secondly, our outreach is well embedded, and then you've seen IMF approving our tranche yesterday. That's another good news that IMF has approved the fourth tranche, and it's coming our way. and being added to the reserves. Then our current account is becoming, is turning into surplus. Our FDI is jumping up, improving. This middle second row is very important from Pakistan's corporate story or investment story. If you look at first point, this shows how company incorporation, the new companies coming for registration with the regulator is jumping up. So we are almost close to 300,000 companies registered with Security and Exchange Commission, and it's up 12%, and 99.9% are being done digitally. Second is global investors committing new investments. You must have heard about Jazz Vion. It's committed $1 billion in the next 3 years. Then Google itself is coming into Pakistan. They're opening up their offices in June, July this year. Then BYD, the biggest EV company, has come to Pakistan. Aramco is here. AD Post is here. Nestle is expanding in Pakistan. Rakami Digital Bank is expanding in Pakistan. Mashik has expanded. Mashik's entire team, back office team, ladies and gentlemen, sits in Lahore, here in Pakistan, and they serve globally from Pakistan. This is big thing for Pakistan from a international bank's perspective. Then you must have heard about 5G spectrum. There's a $500 million spectrum already done. We are on our way towards 5G in Pakistan in the next few months. Then the third thing is corporate Pakistan is earning better profits now. Despite challenging environment, despite this war next door, our corporate is making good profits. That's a good thing. Then the last thing is 8 IPOs. Pakistan's stock market has been performing very well over the last 2-3 years. But good thing is new corporates coming to Pakistan for IPOs, and we have already crossed 8 IPOs in this year, which is 20 years high. It has done after 20 years. Then all of the other positives like manufacturing momentum holds, privatization moving forward, remittances is staying robust, technology exports is up, Fitch has confirmed Pakistan's stable outlook. Pakistan went back to global markets after 4 years, crypto economy and all that. And I'm not saying this myself or the government itself. The performance is being validated, endorsed by global institutions as well. Be it Moody's, be it Fitch Ratings, be it S&P Global, be it World Bank, ADB, or IMF itself. And these are independent surveys. You just look at this survey, OICCI, it says 73% of these are basically existing foreign investors who are saying Pakistan is now more investable than it was in the last 2 years. It's now more investable. So becoming more investable, becoming more positive economy, more open economy for investors. So this is the last slide, and this is the response of government of Pakistan to this crisis. This is, ladies and gentlemen, first order impact. We have instituted institutional governance program under the Prime Minister's supervision, where the Prime Minister has actually formed the National Coordination Management Council, which actually looks after not just energy, but food, finance, trade, security, entire supply chain. Because we are, we are actually very much wary of the fact that this war can spill over, and the impacts can be far-fetched, can be, long-term on our economy as well. So being active, the government of Pakistan, under the Prime Minister, they've actually, initiated this management council, which 24/7 looks after the issues which are being, faced by the country. Then there's real-time national control, energy security supply chain is there, inflation price stabilization is underway, food and economic stability is also underway. This is first round impact. We are evaluating the second and third round impact as well. But let's pray this conflict settles down, and we actually come out as winner, as country, as nation, who actually creates this big example for the world that we have done a lot for the world, not just our economy, our people, but for the global community as well. So thank you very much, gentlemen, once again for bearing with me for this long presentation. So I thank you and wish you best of luck for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our great honor to have Mr. Khurram Shehzad, Advisor to Finance Minister, Government of Pakistan, with us.
Well, now I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Mr. Amir Ijaz, Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, Mr. Abdul Qayyum, to present the souvenir to our honorable guest, Mr. Khurram Shehzad, Advisor to Finance Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, in your big round of applause, please. Thank you so much for your presence.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait is over. We now break for lunch. The session will resume after 30 minutes with our second keynote session. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.